actually charge him with that shit. Like it seems like 5 minutes later, you've been like, that guy was that kid was a dick. I'm trying to
Yeah, you
match
would
the mom.
think. You would think. Yeah.
Although, if they had a normal mindset, they would have fucking left. Way before. So I guess the same mindset that doesn't let them just leave because you're not doing what they tell you
See, it
would
says we're
be the
live, but
same
I'm not
mindset that would
seeing the
have you charge
stream
them.
yet.
Oh shit! Yeah, let me check on it. It's showing live. Let's see if there's words coming through.
Oh, okay. I see. The stream.
All right. Okay, I'm hearing me. Live. Let's see if there's words coming through. Okay, yeah, we're good.
Oh, okay. I see. Yep, we're both there. Yeah, cool. That was weird. Usually it pops up in my feed really fast. But for whatever reason, this time it was just like, nah, fuck off. We're not going to give you your own live stream to watch. Because why would... Well, to be fair, no one's ever...
Yeah. Gotta have at least someone watch it.
Yeah.
It's us.
Yeah, that just... Some of these police officers, I don't understand what's wrong with them. You know what I mean? Like, you're like... What was the reason? I mean, to be personally, like, were I in that situation, I'd have probably just given him my ID because I don't fucking care. I'm not ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, this guy's obviously fucking ridiculous, but like, he's right.
Yeah, if you want to be one of these auditors, it's Yeah, I get it. I understand, like them wanting to, have them separated and talk or whatever, but it's not a lawful request. So when that wasn't happening and there wasn't any signs of actual fucking domestic violence or anything, they should have fucking left. Because I think the mom did finally just go outside with them and talk with them or whatever. She even gave them all his information.
Yeah, I would be so mad about that. I can totally understand, like, why he's pissed. He's like, clearly he's like, this is my stance, and she's like, oh, fuck off, I'll just do whatever I want. And then, it's like, goddamn.
Yeah. But yeah, them, because I mean, that is kind of what the mom did, what you were saying, like, you would have just been like, here, not get the fuck out of here. But I mean, the mom basically did that.
I can also understand why she's doing it, but I would be super pissed were I in his position, just like, we're family. Can you have a little bit of fucking, like, respect? Like, even just an iota? But, I would have given them my idea and they would have gone and whatever, and then I would have, like, filed charges against the sister. If you're really going to get, like, anal retentive and after somebody, sue the sister for falsely reporting you and them for not following up on, hey, it's illegal to just call 911 because you're angry because somebody was mad at you on a phone. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, it was the sister that called? The one that he was arguing on the
it's
phone
his sister. He was in an argument with his sister over the phone. She called 911 and reported domestic violence. They showed up. The sister's not there. And clearly both the people who are in the house are fine, and there's no signs of any sort of disturbance at all.
So they charged the brother for being kind of a dick and actually sticking to his rights.
Yeah.
But the sister who called in the obviously false fucking 911 call.
Yeah. There's zero evidence of any crime. There's no need to investigate any further because they've already investigated and found there to be no crime. So there's no reason at all whatsoever for him to provide ID at that point, or even to be asked for it.
Yeah.
Like, that's not even like a necessity at that point. You've done your due diligence. You've fulfilled the legal obligation. And then what they should have done at that point was like, go back and talk to the sister and be like, hey, you're going to get a citation for false 911 reports, or we're going to, like, here's a warning, or something along those lines of like, hey, we're letting you know now that if this happens again, you'll go to jail, or something like that. Like, you can fight with your family all you want, but don't get us involved when there's no, just because you're fighting. Like, we're not there unless somebody starts swinging and bleeding. That's not what the cops are for.
Yeah, that's such fucking bullshit, dude.
Yeah. But it was just one of those things where you're like, I mean, this all could have been avoided, but he is right, technically speaking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he was well within his rights to refuse all of that shit.
Yeah, I know if he'd been driving a car or something, I've seen him try to refuse to give ID when they're driving a car, and I'm like, no, you idiot, you have to. Like, you have to provide a driver's license. That's the whole point of licenses to drive vehicles. Is that you have to prove you have one whenever they ask for it, you know. Those ones I got no respect for. I still think he was dumb. Like, he could have just saved himself an afternoon by showing the guy his ID and been like, you know, you really ought to look up, but you're not, you know, you don't have any legal reason to be asking for my ID at this point. You should learn the laws better.
Yeah.
And you could tell that cop had no fucking clue how the laws worked when he's like, until we've determined there hasn't been a crime. Excuse me, no, that's not how the legal system is based. Mm-hmm. Until you can prove there has been a crime, there has not been one.
Yeah. And
even after you've found evidence, it goes through a court to prove that there's been a crime. Until then, there has been no crime.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, that was like, until you can prove there hasn't been a crime, that's not your job. No. You don't understand how your job works.
Yeah, it's fucking.
Because that's your assumption to start with.
They're just pissed off that he didn't fucking, you know,
just capitulate and do whatever they asked. Yeah,
demanded. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've had to deal with some really bad cops before, and it's fucking frustrating how ridiculous they are.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fucking. Ugh.
So we had a client where I work who would take off multiple times a day, every day. And we didn't choose to take that client in. The county forced us to. Like, we said no, and the county was like, well, if you don't take this client, we won't offer you any more clients. And so it was like, oh, well, you know, you'll basically shut us down if we don't, you know, do what you tell us to. So we had to take the client, but we knew he was going to do this because it's just what he does.
All right. And
so he's like autistic and all sorts of other shit going on, and plus mental health issues, like super fucking space case. There were multiple times where he would just stand in the backyard all night, just bobbing back and forth, like just, you know, rocking back and forth on his feet. Or he would just spend the night in his closet doing that. It was like totally normal shit. Yeah, like way not even close to ready for the program we're running. Because the program we're running, people are basically like one step below being a living on their own. It's basically just a board-in care where, like, they show up, they're here, they get their meds. We have a somewhat strict requirement for taking off if you got to leave the property.
Right.
But, like, as long as they put in a pass, it's usually pretty cool, including going out for, like, overnights and stuff. And this dude is just taking off all the time to go, like, smoke cigarette butts and drink, like, the tail ends of sodas at the local mall. Every couple of, you know, hours or whatever. And so we have to call the cops anytime a client leaves without permission. We have to report them missing after like 1 hour. If they're not back within an hour, we have to report it. And so we would have to report this guy multiple times a day. Yeah, oh, they fucking hate us. So now there's still a bunch of cops that act like we're like these ridiculous, like, whiny babies or something that, you know, waste all their time all day, and it's like, we didn't make the law, asshole. Like,
did you explain to them
fucking go talk to your fucking state licensing agency and explain to them why that's a problem, because there's nothing to fucking do with us. And explain that to police officers on many occasions, because I get a lot of fucking attitude. like, this is my legal requirement. I have to call you. Now you're just being an asshole and making it difficult for both of us.
Hey, Samaj, how's your day going?
Oh, what's up?
Hey, it's going all right. It sounds like you're having trouble with work.
No, I'm just saying we were talking about, I don't know if you've ever seen the YouTube channel Lackluster.
Nope.
Okay, so they focus kind of, like, they're not quite sovereign citizens, but they're sort of like the very first push down that trail of dumminess.
Mm-hmm.
right? But they do catch a lot of cops way out of line, breaking the law, doing things they're not supposed to do. And so there was a video where this guy is in his house and they're trying to ID him, and he doesn't legally have to give ID for the situation. But realistically, just fucking hand him your fucking license and get the cops out of your fucking hair. You know what I mean?
But again, but again, not legally required to in that situation.
Yeah, and I was just pointing out, like, there's a lot of asshole cops that I've had to deal with just, like, dealing with what I do, like, calling the police whenever clients go missing and stuff. It's like, sometimes they're like, okay, and they come out and take the report, like, you know, just professional, come out and take the report. What you guys do, it's none of my business. If they're going to go out and, like, look for the guy, or if they're just going to ignore it and go about their business, whatever, that's up to them. But I have to call.
I think like there's a few factors in that I think like cops are so used to people just automatically complying because you're a law enforcement person.
Mm-hmm.
So they have no real reason to suspect that you're going to push back. They sort of think, I'm a cop. Here's my badge. Give me your information, and I'm off. That's probably their routine because most people probably do. Most people
it was
probably,
obviously a blow to their ego to not do it.
Yeah, well,
sort of like the where are you going? Where are you coming from? Like, but none of your fucking business.
Yeah, well, and they
what does that have to do with? Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say the cops themselves probably don't even care either. They're just, for them it's routine. It's like, you're going through the motions. They don't want to do it just as much as you don't want to give them the info. They don't really want.
Oh no, the where are you going? Where are you coming from? That's very much a thing that they want to do. They'll use that as they can't use that as an excuse to search your vehicle, but they'll use that as a reason to find an excuse to search your vehicle, even if there isn't one.
Yeah, well, and
so if you say the wrong street, even though like you're not doing anything wrong, you may have just made your traffic stop like 5 hours longer because they're gonna fucking go through your car with fucking
drug dealer on that street somewhere.
Yeah, exactly, and so that's one of the reasons why it's like it's none of your fucking business.
Yeah, well, yeah, cause it's not. But I mean, like I said, people are too compliant; they're going to do it. I think the other thing is with a lot of these cops is that they tend to just, like I say, they're going through the motions because that's what work becomes after a while. And I think they're too dumb to know that they shouldn't be asking this, or they've been doing this for so long they don't even know anymore. It's like you get all this. Like if you're fresh out of school, I'm sure they know exactly what they need to do and what they shouldn't do. But if you've been at it for like 10 years, they don't care. They don't even know. Like
it's also one of those things where it's annoying that they're asking in the situation that the guy was in. But realistically, just fucking hand them your ID. Like, it's just not worth the fucking fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. And then you do that, and you're like, okay, now what's your fucking reason for still being here?
Yeah.
Fucking go away.
Yeah, it's like, all right, you have my ID, leave. Like, go. You know there's no crime. You know who I am. Bye-bye. I think they were going to leave. He just wouldn't give them the ID, and so they decided to escalate like assholes instead of just accepting that, like, he wasn't going to go along with the game, you know?
I think, like, part of the other problem is, like, when you're getting pushback to a cop who's probably used to just people complying, it probably comes off as suspicious. Like, why are you pushing back? Most people just do it. Maybe he's got something to hide.
The police cannot use your refusal to answer a question or use basically invoking your rights is not a reason for suspicion. They can't use that as a reason for legally like coming after you. So like, I can understand why that might be frustrating to them, but they still have to follow the law.
They can find it suspicious in their head all they want.
Yeah, exactly.
But they can't fucking use it as a reason to fucking keep fucking with them.
Yeah, that's my point. What I'm saying is, like, there's a couple of things that are confounding it that I think might be it. Like, one being people are too compliant. Two, cops are probably, they're going through the motions and they don't even fucking know what that happens. And then when someone does do a pushback, logically you would think, that he's within his rights, he's doing what he can. But then cops have just gotten lazy and stupid. They don't know that, you can't do that.
Oh, yeah, well, they've definitely been hiring bad people to be cops in a lot of these fucking cities now.
Well, I think, like, when you're a cop for a certain while, you have to go, like, a refresher course or something, I'm assuming. But when you have all these insane defund the police things, well, where are they going to take the money out? They going to start firing cops? Well, no, they're going to start cutting things like the retraining programs or some other things. Like they're not going to fire cops. There'll be plenty of them, but they're going to cut everything else, which means you have cops who should be going through like a retraining program, I'm assuming, but they're not. And so you have stupider cops now than ever. Don't even know what the rules are because you fucking defunded them. I mean, and on top of all that, like the other problem is like the money that goes for the cops goes to training new cops. And if you're
well, and there's only like in most cases, it's only like a 16-week course to become a cop.
Yep.
Like you go and you do like police academy for 16 weeks, and then you go and do like I think it's 2 years on the job training. But you're still carrying a gun and handcuffs and can shoot somebody and all that kind of shit. You know, it's like you would think that there would need to be a little more training before you're like, here's a gun and legal control over all of your fellow citizens.
Well, and part of the other thing is like when there's this huge backlash against cops, no one really wants to be a cop.
Yeah, you're not getting the cream of the crop anymore. You're getting the fucking dregs, the ones who are like, well, I guess that's the only thing I can do.
Or like you get people who are like if I be a cop, I'm going to be demonized. Look out how cops are treated. Like, do I really want to tolerate being hated 24/7? No. And so I blame a lot of this on defund the police. A lot of it, and that
I say it goes back to when they stopped doing neighborhood foot patrols. In order to save money, they started having like neighborhood people driving through. Like you used to have cops being part of the community where everybody knew each other. Mm-hmm. And so like you knew the guy who was the police officer, not just the police officer. You actually knew who he was as a person because you saw him in your neighborhood all the time and you talked with him on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. So people would know, like, people would be trusting in their police officers and the police officers would feel supported by their community. Yeah. You know, so it was a really positive thing for everybody. Yep. Plus, just, knowing that the cops could come walking down the street at any minute, cuts down on petty crime.
I imagine it would, yeah.
You don't want to be the one standing in front of the fucking door at 1 a.m. and here comes, Officer Joe, like, clearly you're standing right there trying to break in.
Yep, I think you're right about that. I think, and I don't know in your area, but in a lot of places, they got rid of, like, the insane asylums. They would put all the crazy people, and so now they just put them in, like social services or in, like, jails and stuff. Yeah. Clearly, these are people who need to be treated a different way.
There's a lot of people who've come through the programs I work at who are clearly not ready to be in public. Like, they need to be in locked facilities for a lot longer.
Yeah. And so,
and in some of the cases, probably forever, because they're just never going to be fit to be in public. They're just never going to be safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right, and it's absolutely a case of there's just not that many facilities left for locked facilities. Yeah. And so a lot of times, they go into prisons, they go into social programs and stuff. It's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, yeah. So a lot of the services out there are overwhelmed. A lot of people know exactly where the problems come from.
Oh yeah, well, my company's facing a wrongful death lawsuit right now because one of the programs they were running, which I would never have chosen to work at, but was basically just taking people off the street and putting them right into the house without any sort of real checks of any kind. And one of the girls got stabbed to death by one of the clients, one of the ladies that worked there. He became obsessed and at some point just decided that he needed to kill her. Stabbed her several dozen times and then fucking went and sat in his room and just waited.
Mm.
So it's like, they're definitely overwhelming the programs because, like, realistically, that guy should never have been out of a locked facility at all in the first place, much less, like, on the street, homeless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's what we got to work with here. So.
Yep. Oh, and I'm sure it's just as bad in Canada right now too. Well, you
I
guys have got that whole suicide thing going on right now. That's pretty fucking horrific.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing in like the UK and Sweden and all that place. A
Yeah.
lot of the developed worlds.
We're
I
not
don't
going to
think.
give you any sort of pain treatment for the next 2 years of your cancer, but you could do suicide if you wanted, but we would never make you do it.
Yeah,
You know, it's
yeah,
fucking
sounds about
disgusting,
right.
man.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's you're right about that. That's the thing we got going on. Same thing in Sweden and the UK. Although I didn't know this about the UK, I wouldn't be surprised that we get this here. But apparently, they have defibrillator booths in various different parts of the streets, and that's from people just keeling over and dying for unknown medical sources. Just a case of the coincidence.
Oh, so just like, you just need random defibrillators all the time, like everywhere?
Yep, yep. They're all over the downtown. There's defibrillator stations. It's
Just
like,
for reviving people at random because it happens so often?
yep, yep. Because
What
people
the
just.
fuck?
I didn't know about this, but yeah, the UK has that, and I'm like, holy shit. But yeah, if you hear about all those unknown causes of death and that kind of stuff, so what they did to try and help with all this is they have defibrillator stations all over downtown cities.
Wow.
I thought that's insane, but yeah.
Yeah, get that fucking vaccination.
Exactly. And so I was watching my first thing is that I saw a video of a guy and they're like protesting and they're upset about this. It's like, why do we need this? Because of the whole safe and effective thing. You
Yeah.
know, the thing that causes coincidences. You know, I don't know if we can ever say these. I want to say it. I want to just I guess it doesn't matter your how it comes or goes. You're gonna go Rumble anyway. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh god. Yeah, it's ridiculous how little you're allowed to say, even though it's already been like proven as fact. There's not really any question anymore.
Well, I mean, I think there's like a new series of restrictions coming in there, and they may bring it
Yeah.
back saying that you can't talk about it anymore. It's like, well, it's pretty obvious at this point. Like, why are we even bothering with all these restrictions? Everyone knows.
That's why the recent Supreme Court case over social media, uh, heavily censoring their content, but also claiming protection under 210, unfortunately just passed through the Supreme Court and went in favor of the media companies.
Of course, it did.
Yeah.
Is
Although we
anyone?
did get a win in that out of the Supreme Court just recently as well, for at least for the U.S. I don't know how it works anywhere else, but in the U.S. you have property taxes if you own a house, and for the longest time, one of the things counties and cities and states would do is take people's homes if they didn't pay their property tax. But you might only owe like $500, and they'll take your home, sell it for 400,000, and just keep the rest. Like over that $500 debt, they would just take your home and keep everything.
Yeah, see, I am
And
rapidly.
so,
I like with everything going the way it is. I'm rapidly becoming like an anarchist, and I'm thinking like, yeah, taxation's theft. It's like
yeah. Oh, I mean, how do you own your house if you have to pay tax on it, or they can take your house?
yeah,
Clearly, you
like,
don't own the house, and why would you have to pay taxes on something you already bought? Like you pay
exactly.
some tax like up front, like when you purchase it, sure, pay a tax, and then you're done. Like that shouldn't be taxable after that. It's fucking ridiculous that it is. But at least the Supreme Court has ruled that no, they don't get to keep any of the extra money. Period. And that's going to be because different states had different rules. So some states were like, "Oh shit, people figured it out. Well, we'll put a line so that we can't do that." And they backed off and would only take the money, and then the rest of the money would go to the person. I mean, they'd still lose their house, which is shitty, but at least they'd get the like fucking everything but the $500 they owe. Like money wise, so they could buy another house. But so at least that's going to be now like nationwide. That's probably going to slowly get taken into effect. It'll just take time for cases to go through the courts to change in every state. So that's at least a positive, hey? Supreme Court backed us up on that one. Some good news.
It takes a while for the good news to kick in. We'll see.
Well, I mean, it's just, it's nice to get a little bit of good news in with the bad news sometimes, for what little you can find these days.
It's like, why must life suck so much? Well, we all know the reason.
I do like the fucking George Floyd sobriety being celebrated. That is pretty fucking funny.
It's fucked up, but goddamn, that is funny.
3 years sober, George Floyd. You and God, brother.
You ever hear about the George Floyd statues being struck by lightning?
Oh, that's fucking funny. Even God was just like, nah, fuck this asshole.
Yeah, it's pretty hilarious.
Oh, man. Did you know that apparently it's really normal for countries to fucking try to cheat at the Paralympics?
Oh.
Yes.
And to regularly put people who are not fucking disabled into it to win?
Yeah.
I fucking did not know that. That's fucking crazy. I saw a video on a whole thing about like Spain having a team that was mentally disabled basketball league or whatever. Those like retards playing basketball, and like they only had 3 actual retarded people on the team. Like the rest of the team was all just like semi-pro players and like really good like casual players. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's funny. Like they got busted for it, and then it turned out that literally all the fucking countries were doing it.
Every other country was doing it. Oh man,
I'm not even remotely shocked.
I know. I want to be surprised, but I'm just like, oh, of course.
I'm trying to be surprised. I'm actively trying. I can't.
I like that. One of the things that happened was each night they would leave the 3 retarded guys in like one hotel room, and then the rest of the team would just go out and party on the town. And I'm like, y'all ought to take them with you. They'd probably have a great time. I mean,
you think, but no.
Oh man. I like the guy that outed them being touted as a hero, but he did it for 2 years and he only outed them when it was very clear that they'd been caught. He was like, oh no, I've just been undercover reporting for 2 years in the Paralympics. Seems like that case that report would have been done in like a month, right? I don't think you need 2 years of it to figure out that it's wrong.
Yeah, dude just sat on it for fucking until it fucking got put out. Like, oh, I guess it's coming out. I'm gonna put it out a day before everyone else, or fucking whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, call me shocked. I'm shocked.
I'm just like, how desperate to win do you have to be to literally pretend to be retarded?
I think South Park made a whole episode about that with Cartman pretending to be retarded.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Still couldn't beat him.
No, he thought he can get something out of it, but it's like nah. Like all your other schemes, it's just failed.
Yeah.
Schemes and scams.
Oh, they arrested a scammer lady. I saw a video about that from Itazi. She was from Ghana, and she was running a series of scams similar, like sort of romance scams, where like she would pretend to marry people so that they would help, solve whatever issue, like save my family's farm. I need to send gold to my home country for some reason. Like whatever reason they could come up with that she needed to marry them for money. So she was doing that with her fans.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised she got fucking arrested.
Well, she made the mistake of going to the UK.
Yeah. Oh, where they
That's
could
that's where
extradite
they
her?
could arrest her. Yeah, Ghana wouldn't do it. But once she fucking entered into the UK, they arrested her, and they'll send her to us for whatever money it is that our government's paying for it. Because it's usually how it works. Is, we pay for like their police to arrest and do all that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
And obviously, like we're paying the ticket back to the U.S. But she's still, I think, in total around like $2 billion worth of like money and stuff from people. So pretty fucking gross.
Yeah. Yeah, the fact that she got it, yeah. Pretty fucked up, man.
Yep.
But again, it was refreshing to see somebody actually face charges for that bullshit.
Yeah, for real, man, for real.
Yeah, if only we could find some way for the fucking OnlyFans bitches to fucking be arrested for their fucking bullshit.
And not gonna happen.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
and so
no.
you remember the unarmed attempt at a revolution?
Mm-hmm.
The whole November 6th bullshit they lie about.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it was
Right, yeah.
they were trying to take over the government with no weapons.
Yeah, it was an insurrection, dude.
That's a real fucking believable. Well, there was apparently an attempt to kill Joe Biden by a Nazi who was also from India and was driving a truck very slowly into a barrier outside the White House, well within the area, like the several mile area that trucks are not allowed to be at all.
Right.
Because there's a whole there's like the White House, and then there's like I think a 4 or 5 mile circle around the White House where there's just no trucks allowed.
Yeah, makes sense.
Because you don't want to get a
Somehow
truck
he
bomb.
got in there, huh?
Yeah, so you got to wonder, like, number one, how did he get in there? Number two, he's Indian, like from India, Indian. So it kind of makes it not possible to be a Nazi. And also, you gotta love when they were searching the truck. They pulled this piece of evidence out of the truck that they were searching. This evidence in a case where somebody was trying to attack the White House, no less, and just set it on the ground. They literally stretched the Nazi flag across the ground, like just on the driveway where they fucking had him out of the truck. Just clear, very nicely laid out across the ground and just perfectly smoothed out.
Yeah, well, where he's from, that's a symbol of good luck or good fortune.
Yeah, oh yeah, it probably wouldn't even surprise me if he had no idea what it was associated with. No, I'm joking. He's from fucking Tennessee or something. He absolutely knew. But I don't think he was a Nazi. I think this is just absolute nonsense. This is I mean it's the laziest false flag on the fucking planet. He's an Indian, very clearly ethnic Indian, and the only evidence they have of him being an actual Nazi is supposed tattoo pictures of him with swastikas that he posted on some obscure Russian website. There was never any white supremacy talk in any of his social media prior to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's oh, okay.
Yeah, none of it makes any sense.
Yeah,
that's kind of the MO of how it all goes. It's color me shocked. None of this makes sense. Say it ain't so.
Well, next year's an election, so we need some fucking drama to make Joe look good.
And they keep hoping it's going to drum people up, and I don't think it's going to work.
Yeah.
Not to mention, every now and then I'll see something from Joe, but I mentioned this before when I was going through my little conspiracy theory deep dive. I mentioned this once before when on there's a video of Joe scratching himself in the back of his neck, and then you could see there's ripples from when you're pulling at fabric or something. It's that's a mask. Oh my god, that's a mask. And so I saw more of them, and I thought, yeah, I'm starting to wonder. And like the other like thing that really solidifies it in my mind that like yeah, there some of these guys aren't really Joe Biden. Like the ear, for example, like you'll see various different pictures because some people have those ears. You got like the earlobe that's just sort of dangles down there. Then you have the something that's
Okay.
just sort of fuses into the head. You know what I'm talking about with the earlobes?
Oh, okay, yeah, where it's connected or not connected.
Exactly. And so there's like it's 50-50 with Joe Biden because there's some where the earlobes are connected and others where they're not. And then
Oh,
some
that
people
is
did
kind of fucking weird.
it is kind of weird. And then some people thought, well, then maybe that's just faux editing or stuff like that. They have to do it for presidents or something. So then people looked up on like Donald Trump. It's like, nah, he's consistent throughout almost all his photos. It's like, yeah, no, I mean, there's
So
no,
pro
yeah,
tip: if you ever really want to fuck with people and you're a public servant or like a public figure, glue your ears down every other day that you're going to be out in public. So then, literally, like, I mean, I don't. I think it's Joe Biden. It's fucking obvious. Like that sounds fucking weird. Like he's wearing like it's a bunch of people with Joe Biden masks, which wouldn't be a surprise.
yeah.
Like he was in bad health when he took office. It wouldn't surprise me if they were like, "Well, we lost him. Shit, what do we do?"
Find someone else that sounds just like him. I don't know.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
honestly,
put a mask on him and.
Joe Biden himself could actually be dead, and these are just people pretending. And part of the reason is that they are purposely trying to make America look bad. That way, other countries feel emboldened to attack. It's like, well, that could happen. I mean, they're purposely trying to make America look bad. At this point, it's like there's nothing to be gained faking it at this point. You might as well just up and say, yeah, I'm trying to destroy your country, because it's like, why not? I mean, everything's going to shit. Not to mention, there's all that recent stuff I've been hearing about, like Joe Biden's family taking money from China.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, so it's just like here in Canada. It's like, oh yeah, our prime minister's been taking money from China, and apparently Joe Biden, same thing. It's like, oh, okay, all right. So yeah, actively, we can assume that our politicians are agents for foreign governments, which means that I think Joe Biden's compromised. But anyone could see that he's compromised.
Oh,
Same
our
thing here.
entire government is compromised. I've been saying that one for like the last couple of years. I think the Chinese run our government.
Yeah.
They're all getting paid
Yeah,
off
I
by
mean,
the Chinese. That's the only way you could get this kind of funding on such a regular basis is if somebody's just making up numbers.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean Biden obviously is the son with the whole that Ukrainian energy company where he's getting paid like 60 grand a month to do nothing. Obviously it's not just China.
Yeah, oh yeah, no,
Biden's
I'm
are
sure
in with
they're for
fucking
sale to
any
whoever spends the money, but I think the primary purchaser of our government has been China for a while.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt. But I'm sure the Bidens were taking money from any country that would fucking give it to them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, essentially, it's been confirmed. Well, it's kind of confirmed. I mean, I think there's still a process to go through, but like Joe Biden and the Democrats are going to sue to keep going. But like, that's not the most important thing because this will keep them busy for a while. The most important thing is the next election. It's like Donald Trump or someone to his equivalent needs to get in. Like, we just cannot keep this going.
Oh yeah, what was the fucking the deal with DeSantis's Twitter thing? Everybody's saying it was a huge failure somehow.
Oh, he has some deal going on with Elon Musk over Twitter. I don't know the details exactly because I didn't look into it. Because to be fair, it's like I don't think DeSantis is really the guy. I don't think he should be trying.
Yeah, it's not his time, dude. Yeah, it's ill-advised.
With
Next
that said,
time, yeah.
Yeah, with that said, though, it's good that he's doing something because, in all honesty, I think I'm all for Donald Trump winning and all that, but something tells me he's going to get assassinated. I don't think that they.
Something is. There's too much pressure building for it to just end in an election. like a normal thing. Yeah.
And there's too many people, like, you know that if he gets in there, he's going to clean house because everyone's going to back him. At this point, he can go in there, and if the most extreme thing he wants to do, everyone's going to back him. They say, go for it. You say you need to launch a missile to the moon, go for it. We're all for it because that's what will fucking happen or something. But I think they can't afford to it because it's going to be like a Nuremberg 2.0. People are going to be publicly executed. Who knows? And so, like, yeah, it's life or death for a lot of people now. So I don't think that they can stand it. So I think Donald Trump's going to get assassinated. And so someone else needs to take his place, and that's probably going to be Ron DeSantis. So that's who everyone's going to follow.
I would rather DeSantis just in general because he's just less fucking offensive.
Yeah,
like he'll do the things we need to have done, but like without causing all the stupid drama on the side, which as fun as it is not really beneficial to anyone. Like if I have to choose, I choose DeSantis every day. So I'm sorry, like I would choose Trump over any of the other politicians. But I think DeSantis would do basically the same shit that Trump would do, but without all the silly nonsense.
I don't really think so. Only because it's DeSantis and he's the opposition. I think that like drama is going to follow one way or the other.
Oh yeah, but I mean once the election is over, if DeSantis is the winner, I don't think the drama is going to keep going.
I think it will.
No, not to the same level as Trump going.
No, definitely not to the Trump's thing, but yeah, the left already kind of hates DeSantis too.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think they'll give up. I just think like the really stupid shit that prevent like the Trump, if Trump would just shut the fuck up once in a while, that kind of stuff would stop, because DeSantis knows when to stop fucking opening his mouth.
Well,
and that's the big difference. Trump just doesn't know when to shut the fuck up sometimes.
Well, yeah, but sometimes that's a good thing.
Well, it's good for the political part. He might get elected, and I wouldn't be disappointed if he was president. Just, I would prefer DeSantis.
No, well, and fair enough. But the thing is like, you look at what happened with Trump. I mean, he could say the most, banal thing you could think of, and people would still say, like, this is why Donald Trump is wrong. Article to be written about. Like, I don't think any president has ever had the amount of hate geared to them as Trump did. I think Trump is a unique case in that no one has gone off from that badly. With that said, if DeSantis was to be the only candidate going for, I don't know if he could tolerate it. See, like, I don't think he's ever had that level of vitriol go to him, and I think that's what's going to happen, because if Trump goes, then what you're left with is DeSantis, and I don't know if he's ready for it.
But the difference between Trump and DeSantis is Trump has literally probably millions of quotes that they can take out of context to do all sorts of crazy shit with.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just not there for DeSantis.
Well,
I think there would be an initial attempt at that, but I think it would fall apart because people would just get bored.
Yeah,
well, they're going to be like, it's just not that salacious. He doesn't have all that crazy, wacky Hollywood side to draw on for that drama to keep going. Like, they'll try. It's just, I think people will get really bored and stop paying attention.
Well, the other thing is that there's no real reason to go after him. I mean, yeah, he's the governor of Florida.
Yeah, it'd make more sense to just buy him.
Yeah, well, like, exactly. And see, that's the other part I'd worry about, because, like, he's DeSantis is, he's pretty good at what he does. Depending on the right amount of money, I mean, you might be able to sway him. I don't know. See, Trump. The other thing with Trump is that he was rich before he became president. You can offer him all the money you want; they ain't gonna matter to him. DeSantis is
true. That is a really good point. Yeah, DeSantis could be bought potentially where Trump would probably not be.
Yeah, that's why they fucking went after the powers that be or whatever went after Trump so hard, is because he couldn't be bought nearly as easily as anyone else.
Yeah,
he wasn't part of the system the whole time, the way any other presidential candidates usually were.
and given the time that we live in and the state that we're in, I mean, we can't afford to have a maybe possibly button off DeSantis. I do think we need a Trump. I don't think we have a choice in the matter. And if Trump
I
gets
just don't
past
think Trump can win because it's going to get rigged again. Like I don't.
well, the thing
I
is,
don't think either of them could just because it's just going to rig it.
well, you see that's the part I'm not sure about because the reason okay this way like where your America's stuff is linked in with Canada is because the reason why the recounts didn't go through because there were people and counties trying to do recounts, and a lot of the recounts had yielded some pretty damning evidence. One of which being they got proof of photocopies of people's ballots and stuff, and copies being put in there and all this stuff. Like there's a pretty substantial amount of evidence. The only thing is though is that in order for a recount to go through, you have to get through all of it. And the last thing that they couldn't get was the voting machines from Dominion, the Dominion voting machine kind of stuff. So they needed that information. The thing is that Dominion is their headquarters and all that stuff where they got the machines are here in Canada.
Yeah, so
Toronto.
they're not subject to U.S. law.
Exactly. And so even though there was a court, because they took it to court, and multiple judges said that yes, we would like to issue an order for Canada to release the information. Well, Canada doesn't have to obey those orders because it's Canada, and that's why that all worked out. With that said, though, if an election gets called here in Canada and we get a new leader, that being Pierre Poilievre, the leader of the Conservative Party, if he hasn't said anything about Dominion, that doesn't mean that he wouldn't do it, though. He's probably one of those things like if he did say it, maybe.
Oh, so there's potential for an upset in the whole system that they're using right now.
Exactly. This is why like America needs to pay attention to Canada because if we get a new leader, he might do this. He's not saying anything because I think he knows.
But hasn't your dictator been preventing an election for fucking ever at this point?
Yeah,
with no end in sight of him being able to just say no elections.
In Canada, yeah, you can pretty much be leader forever until you're dead. If you just keep getting elected, because we don't have those kind of term limits.
Yeah.
The thing is, with Justin Trudeau, he's so unpopular that he actually we have a minority government twice now. He's been reelected with a minority government. He's historically gotten the lowest minority in Canadian history because he got a majority in his first term. By the next election, he had a minority, and he had the historically lowest minority, and then he called another election during COVID, and he got back in with another minority, but he surpassed himself by getting the lowest after that. So he just kept getting lower and lower. So he's pretty bad. So, but how he got to his majorities, he did a coalition government with another party, a socialist party here in Canada, called the NDP, and that's how they have the majority because they have a coalition now. If the leader of our socialist party here, Jagmeet Singh, if he decides to say, yeah, I have no confidence in this coalition, he'll separate, and at that point, the Conservatives can do a vote of no confidence, and we're off to the races, off to an election. So,
but what are the odds it's going to happen? You know what I mean? Like,
well,
because he's clearly a socialist leader. Like, there's no reason for them to not keep their dictator in office. Why risk an election when they can just not have one?
Well, there's a couple of things to keep in mind. Part of the reason why they did the NDP did a coalition because you have to raise a certain amount of money to remain as a party. He has not done a very good job running the party. He's essentially bankrupted him. So when the coalition was proposed by the Liberals essentially offered them the money to keep him up and running. So like we'll give you this certain amount of money, then you can keep your party going as long as you help us stay in power effectively.
Yeah.
Which is why they did the coalition in the first place. However, we have the whole like with you guys with Biden. There's a whole controversy with Trudeau and the whole like Chinese corruption, getting money, that kind of stuff. As the investigation stuff keeps revving up and more people are getting upset, the pressure is being built on, and so it might not be feasible to support the Liberals because at that point it's like, yeah, we could support you, but the more we support you, the worse we look. And if they want to have like they're essentially, if they can't raise the money, the NDP, the Socialist Party, doesn't exist anymore. They have to disband because they can't afford to keep going. So if you keep supporting Trudeau, you're probably not going to look good, which means you won't get the votes. And raise the money to keep it going. But if you so they're in like they're like, well, do we go out in the blaze of glory, or do we just step out of the way and let the process run its course? I don't know.
So there's some hope, but I'm not going to hold my breath. No, nothing personal. Just
I'm with you on that. Well, because the leader
China's got a lot of money to bail these people out, and they've clearly been taking money from China for a long time anyway.
Well, so we have this group called the CSIS, which is like our version of the FBI, and a whistleblower recently came out and was talking about the Chinese interference. He essentially said that for the last 5 prime ministers we've had in Canada, they've all been taking Chinese money in one form or another, and they've been compromised in one form or another for the last 5 prime ministers, and so that's
you would think, which should mean that immediately the one that is currently taking would be removed from office just by like standard. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, you're taking money from a foreign government? Well, you're out of the office. Like, we're done.
Yeah.
Like we'll pick somebody else. Even if it was like your party can appoint somebody else, you still like you're out. That should be the immediate response. That's weird.
Well, the thing is that there would be like a hearing, an investigation, that kind of stuff to go into there. But and I mentioned this last time, but the guy who's running it, he was appointed by Trudeau, and the guy's literally a family friend of the Trudeau family, and which is a conflict. This guy, he's notoriously bad because he has like 4 conflicts of interest. One is good enough that you shouldn't be allowed to be the guy in charge, but he is in charge, and he refuses to leave. And Trudeau says, "I have total confidence." Of course, you have total confidence. He's your buddy. He's a family friend.
Literally, his next door neighbor.
Yeah, well, it is. They have ski cottages together, so they're neighbors.
Oh, okay.
So which is a conflict. It is close enough to being a neighbor, and like that's one conflict of interest. The other one being is that he's a close personal friend. And this guy, he was friends with Trudeau's father, and Trudeau went to school with the guy's daughters, and they're still friends to this day. So that's a third conflict of interest. And the fourth one, part of the investigation is because they took money in from China, was the Trudeau Foundation, which is started by his father, and they took money from China. The guy who's running the investigation is a member of the board of directors for the Trudeau Foundation.
So basically, China's just bribing the guy that's supposed to catch people for taking bribes.
The guy literally he looked into himself and said, "Yeah, I did nothing wrong. There's a conflict of interest. No, I did nothing wrong." And he came out recently, essentially saying, "Yeah, I looked at all the evidence. I don't see any, misgivings or."
Oh, that's like the lady that fucking stole the Arizona fucking election.
Yeah, I looked into myself. I did nothing wrong. You could have faith in it. This is a nice and fair election. It's essentially that. It is insane.
Dude, have any of you guys seen the movie Homegrown with like Billy Bob Thornton and a bunch of other people?
No.
Okay, well, basically there's a fucking line in there where he's like, "Yeah, I have thought about it, and I agree with myself."
Yeah, it's like that. It's like that. You're hitting it right there. Yeah, I thought about it. I
find that clip.
Oh man,
I believe 100% right. Yeah, that's exactly what it's like.
The absolute hypocrisy is absolutely insane. It's quite something. I mean, luckily the conservatives over here in Canada was like, yeah, there's clearly conflicts of interest. This guy is not impartial in any way. I don't support this in any way. We must get this gone. So I thought it was fascinating.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll see some results from that. That'll help everybody out.
Well, I mean, the pressure is growing, and I don't know.
What hope you speak of? I'm not familiar with it. I feel like I knew once upon a time what this hope was.
Yeah, really.
Well, because what the other alternative is that if things keep going in this insane route, the only thing else that people can do is start, overthrowing the government. Not that I would ever support that. YouTube, don't cancel us.
Yeah,
But
no,
you
we're all
leave people
hopeful
no
there's some
other
kind of
option.
peaceful solution.
Yeah.
But
If you
it
take
doesn't
away all the
seem.
peaceful solutions, then the only other option is violence.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
like I said, it'd be great if there's something that I'm not foreseeing that could replace the violent revolution. That would be great.
yeah.
Seems
So it's
very
not.
unlikely, though.
Well, we'll see what happens. But I mean, like, I think the goal should be to not do that. I mean,
Oh
Well,
yeah,
we'll
hopefully,
see.
this next set of elections will yield some results that actually are accurate to what the people want.
Like, I'm
yeah,
actually quite surprised how certain things have been coming because, like, in France, they have very similar stuff going on there. Macron, he's a member of the World Economic Forum, and so he's also for all this nonsense. And France has been doing. They've been protesting for a long time. I mean, they literally erected and built guillotines. The people fucking built guillotines.
Yeah, they were like,
And so,
remember what we used to do. You
like
know,
back in the day when people were protesting, and they would build guillotines, they would take government would take that as a sign of like, don't fuck around. The people are starting to get serious here, and then they would back down somewhat. And he's not backing down. I'm like, you should be afraid for your fucking life, and you're not. That bothers me. Like if when the people are giving you a clear message that they will react, and clearly in some states they have, like in Sri Lanka, for example, the people fucking boogalooed and they overthrew the government. Granted, I mean what remained of the government would try to sort things out, and then they brought in a new guy who's just as bad as the old guy. So I don't know how that's turning out. There's been a bit of a media blackout. But the new guy is like a clear member of the World Economic Forum. He said that he will crack down on the Nazi protesters. I'm like, Nazi protesters? Really?
in fucking where?
Sri Lanka.
There are a lot of Nazis in Sri Lanka, huh?
Yeah. Apparently, well, and that's the idea. It's like I'll just call the protesters Nazis, and that proves that I'm the correct and noble one. It's like no, they overthrew the government because the government
A lot of tall German, blue-eyed, brown-haired, blonde-haired fucking Nazis in Sri Lanka. Yep,
yeah.
a lot of fucking
Areas
Germans
fucking
there too.
hotbed.
Well, and they've totally they've watered down the whole term of Nazi. It used to be like, yeah, you had to be a German at least, bare minimum, and white. But no, you could be like an East Indian or whatever else and still be called a Nazi. It's like, okay, all right, this is clearly insane. We've reached levels of insanity. But we've been reaching levels of insanity for quite a while. Like the absurdity of everything is just palpable. Like how can we keep doing this? It's so absurd.
Well,
But it is what it is.
true. Unfortunately,
Yeah. Well, the people running the show, they're trying to depopulate the world by any means possible. It doesn't matter what you say, what you do. They will try to destroy you.
on a completely different topic because we talk about this a lot anyway, but a less serious topic. Of all the movies that they could possibly have chosen to remake this last, during 2023, they remade White Men Can't Jump.
Yep.
I'm just so baffled by this because it's like it wasn't a super popular movie. It wasn't like there's no cult following. It's just like it's this just random mediocre movie from a long time ago. And they were like, we need to make a new one.
Well, it's disparaging white men. So I mean, that's a huge plus, obviously nowadays.
I mean, I guess, but just fucking. It's such a lackluster movie to make a remake of. I just don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, it's like.
Yeah, the movie was all right, but yeah.
I mean, no, I'm not saying it was bad. It's just it was mediocre.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like you
it's
can
very odd.
understand why you would remake The Little Mermaid. Like that was a massive success when it came out as a cartoon movie, and it's something that almost everybody sort of holds dear to their childhood.
Mhm.
Like you can understand, like there's a financial positive there. Like there's an audience that's built in that's going to go see it, even if it's a shitty movie. There'll probably be enough people to see it in the U.S. that it'll cover what it costs to make it. Like it's obviously it's not selling in China. Like they're not making any money there.
Yeah, well, there's black people in it.
Oh
I like
yeah,
that kind of thing. Black lead character.
yeah, exactly.
They might tolerate a couple secondary black, minority characters or whatever, but can't have the main character be black.
No, no, definitely not. Um, but it's just hilarious. It's like I don't like. There's no way they're making the money back on that.
Yeah,
Well,
it's fucking bizarre, dude.
China, like they are releasing some movies in China again now that all these restrictions and all the other bullshit's been done. Turns out they're not selling as well as they used to. Like they were really hoping that China would bring in some money, and it's not. People don't care about Marvel movies. Actually, they don't care about movies in general right now in China because China has a lot of other problems right now, and a lot of families can't afford to go in movies.
Massive lockdown, crazy fucking psycho government behavior. Yeah, oh yeah.
Well, they had to end
Massive protests and murders and all sorts of crazy shit going on over there, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, they had to stop the lockdowns because they needed the workforce to get to work immediately because they're losing money hand over fist and they can't keep it going. Problem is that there's
and
work.
not have enough food for your people too.
Yeah, well, they've been having food problems for a while, and they're having all kinds of other issues. Part of the other reason is that a lot of companies are taking their work out of China because they don't really like working in China anymore because the restrictions are too much, and while the whole stuff is going on, people started migrating like work to either Taiwan, not Taiwan, Thailand. Singapore, all different Asian companies. Oh, and Mexico. A lot of jobs are going to Mexico now. So China's workforce is it's not that the workforce is dwindling. It's just that the work available is starting to dwindle. So it's not working out so well, and people just cannot afford basic life stuff. So they're protesting, and then of course when you protest the government, that's a big no-no because that lowers your social credit score. And if it lowers your social credit score, they do things like take away your bank account, where you can't even pay for stuff. So now they're unable to pay for things, which lowers your economy even further. Because how are you going to make money off that? Can't tax anything. So it's like, yeah, a lot of things are coming to a crash immediately. So China's not doing the greatest. Not to mention they have an aging population, and they didn't replace their birth rates because people just weren't having kids. So yeah, your workforce isn't as impressive as it used to be.
Yeah.
And in another 5 years, who knows? China might not even exist anymore.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why they're trying to, buy up so much influence now while they still can. Because they know it's going to collapse if they don't have, all this influence throughout the world.
Well, a lot of people are trying to make China like the world superpower because they have all this impressive military tech and stuff, but it's not really working out so well because, they're with their dwindling workforce and the aging population. It's like you might have an advantage now, but it won't last. Which is the other reason why they're pushing it as much as they are, because it's like let's say if a war were to come in the next 3 years, it might not survive it. They might not. That's why they're thumping around and say, look how important we are. You better surrender. You don't want a war with us. We'll destroy you. It's like, yeah. I mean, Taiwan knows all about China's issues because they live right next to them. It's like, yeah, we don't care. They've been calling China's bluff for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if China could take over, they would. They're not.
Oh yeah, if they had any even remote possibility of winning, they would definitely have already tried.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
economically is the only way they think, that they can. That's why they're trying to take over that way.
Well, yeah, they're trying to scare people so that way they don't have, because they literally can't. They don't have the workforce to do it. I mean, like how many times like do they send missiles over top of Taiwan? They do it all the time. Like I remember, like my friend Turish there. He's a fellow Canadian. His wife is from Taiwan, and he took the wife and or the wife and kids went out to visit family, and missiles went flying over. He calls up the wife and says, "Everything okay?" It's like, yeah, apparently this happens every now and then. Like the people don't even panic. Half the time, people like they have like bomb shelters and stuff all over the place, and most of the time they don't even bother going in. It's like, is it gonna hit this time? Nah, they don't have the guts.
Californians and earthquakes.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is nothing.
yeah. It's not a big deal. It's fine.
Yeah, if it's not knocking things off the shelves, none of us really give a shit.
Yep.
Although,
Yeah. Nope.
hopefully soon I'll have many, many less shelves to worry about.
Yeah. Downsizing.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, I decided, all this shit that I don't do anything with, it just sits on shelves. Like, why am I keeping it? Like, what's the purpose of it? If it's not
Make
something
up
I'm
shelves.
genuinely going to have a use for, why not just throw it the fuck away?
Yeah. Fair enough.
So I haven't been reading books for a long time, so I boxed up. It was like 6 half boxes of books to get rid of those, and now I've probably got like another few more boxes of stuff that I can give away, and then just a bunch of stuff that's got to be thrown away. Because like not everything is something that somebody would want.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just little by little, I'm just eliminating all the fucking stuff out of my room because it's just like time to go. Found out I got something like 2,000 band-aids.
Band-aids?
Yeah, because like I've put together several different first aid kits. The over-the-counter ones are usually pretty trash as far as like the range of stuff that they can treat.
Mm-hmm.
So like I made a bunch of small first aid kits for the glove boxes of all our vehicles that have just like a couple of band-aids and some pills and stuff. But then I made like bigger ones that you can stick in the back where it's the by the spare tire or whatever. They have like deal with like sprains and maybe like broken fingers, much bigger, deeper cuts, puncture wounds, those kind of things.
Okay.
And so I keep buying all these supplies to put together because even in a more extreme first aid kit, you still have to have some band-aids. Because, people just get, like, cuts and scrapes, and it's just, normal. So I would buy Band-Aids, and then they'd get shoved to the back of a shelf somewhere. And so I'm cleaning, going through, and I'm like, oh, here's another box of Band-Aids. And then, oh, there's another box over there. Maybe I should never buy Band-Aids again, I think. Or the other thing is you can find a good first aid kit, but, like, the bandages are trash. Because they'll use whatever the cheapest ones they can get are. So you gotta get, like, the name brand ones and just switch it out.
Okay.
Yep. And so various different, like, emergency kits and, like, first aid kits that I've had to assemble over the last few years. Yep. Way too many fucking Band-Aids. It's like, for a long time, my mom would just keep ordering milk every time we'd go to the store, even if we still had, like, 2 gallons of milk.
Mm-hmm.
She'd be like, no, we need more. She just ordered, like, 3 more gallons of milk. And you're like, why do we have 5 gallons of milk in the fridge outside? Like, we go through maybe, like, 1 or 2 gallons in a week.
There was one time I wondered if my mom had a stroke because we went out and did some grocery shopping and filled up everything. It's all good. And then like 3 days later, she insisted we have to go grocery shopping. I thought we just did that. We got. She's like, no, we're out of this, and this. We'll get all the stuff we missed. Is what she kept saying. And then you get to the store and she's filling up the carts. Like, but mom, we just bought that. We just got that. It's like, no, no, no. She's like, and she told me to just shut up. I don't know what I'm talking about. And then we get home, and then trying to fill up the fridge, and she's like, oh wow, we already had this. I'm like, yeah, that's what I kept telling you. It was the weirdest shit, and she was so insistent. It's like, yeah, no, we need this and that and that.
It's like she forgot the initial trip.
Exactly. I just sort of wondered, and she just sort of shrugged it off. It's like, oh well, whatever. We have extra. It's like, I guess. I mean, I guess I'm gonna have to drink a lot more milk because we just did not have the space. I think we went through an entire jug of milk because it's like there was literally no more room in the fridge by the time we were done. We like double of everything. It was
You mean a bag of milk?
No, I do not.
Oh, you don't get to buy it in bags there?
No, I do not.
I thought they did that. I always thought that was kind of an interesting idea. Where you would just have like your own jug and then just buy bags and put them in the jug.
I thought that's what you did.
No, we did not.
I'm sure they do that in parts of Canada. Maybe just not his part.
Like one part of Canada.
Oh, one part of Canada does it?
Like as far as I can tell, like okay, whenever I talk to you Americans, you talk about the bags of milk, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? No one I know. I've lived in various different parts of the country. No one uses bags of milk. I don't understand that. I never understood. And then I found out that there was this a travel thing that was like really popular in America, that show, and they talked about that. To the one obscure place in the country that does that. It's
they found like one little area where they're like, these 3 counties, and they're just like, exactly. In Canada they have bagged milk, instead of saying like, in these 3 counties of Canada they have bagged milk. It's an old thing that they used to do.
3% of the population does this, but we want you to think everybody does.
I've always wanted to try it. I always thought it would be cool. I always thought it was like, I was like, dude, bagged milk sounds cool.
If there was
That's not the worst idea. Yeah.
If you're a tourist and you're going out there and you're seeing some obscure place in Canada, and then you might assume, oh, I guess they're all like that. No, it's not like that. It's like if you go to Mexico and you found one place that sold a lot of this, but one particular souvenir, but if you went to the rest of Mexico, no one else sells it. It's like a one-time kind of thing. It's like I went to Mexico once, and I only went to like one area. Like, I'm not going to judge the whole country by that area. For all I know, it was a super touristy area.
Oh, no, you see, in the U.S., it's one of those things that just gets included with general facts about Canada in almost any situation in which they're mentioning facts about Canada.
Yep, and that's what it was, and it's just a thing that persisted all throughout. So when I talk to the Americans, it's like...
You'd be funny.
Yeah.
If it was so persistent that like enough Canadians were like, let's try it, and then they started doing it again. Like the fact that the United States are always like, what about bagged milk? Canadians were like finally like, you know what, we're gonna do it. Why not?
I hope not. I hope not. If I ever made like a video or something and talking about Canada, and that was just a joke video, I do everything that was super jokey. Like I remember hearing about a guy who went to like an American school talking about Canada. He said like, we don't have like presidents or anything like that. We have chiefs, and we do. It's so cold up there that we have like a little igloo that we create that where we all negotiate and talk about stuff. So we literally have an igloo politicians.
My god!
It just. And the thing is, he's saying all this shit, and all the kids are like, "Oh, that's very interesting." Oh, yeah, and they totally believe it, totally believe it. And then by the end of the politician, or the end of the presentation, he was like talking about how. So just so you all know, everything I just said wasn't true. This is all about talking about how it's like it was about misinformation, not about it was kind of about misinformation, and to
like
know
how easy it is for bad information to get passed along.
That's what it was all about, yeah. So, and then I think the guy at the end said, "Yeah, I'm not even Canadian. I just have like people relatives who moved to Canada."
Nice.
It's like, yeah. The thing is with Canada and America, like we're more similar than we are different. So it's like, yeah, values and all that stuff. That's what I've come to realize, like being online and talking with more Americans. Like, yeah, you guys are just like us in every way. The only thing that's different is that like we have this pretentious view that we think we're better here in Canada because we don't have all that many guns. Turns out that we're actually quite stupid here in Canada because we're like the second biggest purchaser of guns in the world.
Oh,
Number one being,
nice.
I think number one being like America. So it's yeah, that's part of the reason why the whole gun grab thing here in Canada is such a pernicious one. Because it's like, yeah, you can't just take guns. How many guns are there? There's too many. Not to mention, if they totally do the whole gun grab thing, I'm gonna totally do the 3D printing bit with all the guns. So I'm gonna see how much money can I make making fake guns.
Oh, like turn them in.
Oh yeah, have I mentioned to you guys about the guy who made the 3D printed guns?
Oh yeah,
yeah,
anything for
super
gun, they'll
cheap
take
and
for money.
getting the Visa gift cards.
Yeah, he just 3D printed a whole whack of them, and they're not even real guns; they're just bullshit things. But they gave him the money anyways. Like, oh man, how much money? That's an easy payday. That's what that is. It's like, oh my god, how much money can I make making fake guns? I'm gonna talk to anyone else I know with a 3D printer and say, hey man, you want a quick payday?
Hey, you know exactly. Make that money while you can.
Hey, if the government's gonna be stupid, I'm gonna take advantage of it. There's no law against taking advantage of stupid people. Happens all the time.
Make the ones that fire like one bullet and fall apart. Then you're not even lying.
I'm actually going to try to make the ones that look like real guns, but they're actually the ones that shoot out elastic bands. I'm gonna see if that works. I'm gonna see how stupid these people are.
The one that's just a wooden thing with like a paper clip or fucking what do you call it?
Yeah, but it looks like a real
Clothesline,
gun.
what the fuck are you calling that? Why can I not think of clothespin?
Yeah, that's what we're
holds the fucking the rubber band back.
Yep. Yeah, that's what we're
doing.
Give
me my $50.
Oh man, easy fucking money. I tell you what. You're gonna be stupid. I'm gonna treat you like you're stupid.
The insanity of thinking it's reasonable to offer like $50 for a gun.
Oh, yeah.
Like most guns start around $400 or $500, like for cheap ones.
Well, and what they're saying is like, you know, it's reasonable. Like you if you give them the money now and you take advantage of it and get money for it, then the other thing is that if you don't do it, they'll eventually come and take your guns. So it's like, and then they won't give you anything for it. They'll compensate them or confiscate them from you. I think it's ridiculous, but that's inevitably what they're going to do to the ones who don't give up their guns.
Well, I mean, they'll get something if they come to confiscate my guns.
Right.
Oh yeah, they'll get news articles about a terrorist on the lot, and then there'll be all these things about people, and that's how they're going to spin it. But it's like, come on, no one's listening to that anymore. We all know what's going on. That's what I tell myself. But I mean, like, they have nothing left to lose, so they're going to push it regardless. Which is the sad thing. It's like when you take, get an animal in the corner, they have nothing left to lose, so they'll do whatever, which is kind of what we're dealing with here. We got people who have nothing left to lose, so it's like they might as well. Like I look here in Canada with Trudeau and that whole ethics thing with taking Chinese money. It's like it's blatantly obvious to everyone that this guy is your best friend or one of your family friends. He should not be in charge of this whole thing, and yet you're blazingly letting him be in charge. It's like you know that no one believes you, and he knows that he doesn't care. He has nothing left to lose. Anyway,
he's pretty fucking evil, man.
Yeah.
Like, he's a joke, but he's also fucking super fucking evil.
He doesn't care anymore. He knows the jig is up. He doesn't care. He doesn't have to pretend anymore. But he still does. I mean, you'll listen to him in politics and stuff. Well, the thing is, like, we all know he's not in charge. Everyone knows he's not in charge. Same thing with Biden. He's not in charge. Clearly, someone else. Someone else there. World Economic Forum, China, don't know, don't care. We know that he's not the one running the show.
True. Yeah. Yeah, there is a cabal of people that are doing this that, like, one of the biggest things that we could possibly do to fight back would just be to out all of them by name and, like, give out their, like, addresses, like, all their home addresses and everything, so that like, they're no longer these untouchable, shadowy figures.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I've always thought that doxing is only bad when it's done maliciously for no reason. But realistically, at this point, I think if you dox the people that are behind a lot of what's going on right now, that's not malicious, it's just justified.
I think maybe not so much in the sense of what could come from that being violent, but I think the analogy you might be drawing from is the whole like sunlight is the best disinfectant.
Mm-hmm.
So you cast sunlight on these people.
That's what I'm saying. If they're no longer a secret, hidden cabal, if they have to actually be confronted,
yeah, instead of
that's the thing. Like, they no longer get to do this behind closed doors. That's what we need to do, is out these people entirely.
Well, and that could be. Yeah, we need to actually get it out there. But I think it is working in that sense. I think that there's a lot of people who are becoming more aware, mostly because you kind of have to. A lot of this is like, unignorable anymore, if you will.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, yeah, you can't really say that Biden is not an actor of some sort.
Well, look at fucking Ocasio-Cortez. AOC.
Yeah.
Like she was. They literally just held a casting call.
Pretty much. And so
literally. Yeah, that's fucking. Was it literally like a Craigslist ad?
Mm-hmm.
Was it that bad? Yeah. So she's obviously not fucking in charge of her fucking own beliefs either.
Yeah.
Well, I believe she wrote that fucking Green New Deal. I think they let her do that.
Yeah, that was dumb enough to be her. You got a good point, dude.
I bet you they took the Crown original and retyped it for her, though.
I'll be right back.
Oh, yeah, go on. Oh, I was surprised. I know I posted the story earlier of the guy that actually rigged the lottery, or did I post the story? I don't know if we ever talked about that.
Yeah, I don't think I actually got to it though. But so go ahead. I don't think I actually read it.
The guy who was in charge of all the computer stuff for the lottery for like several states, none of them, like, not Arizona and California.
Right.
Sadly. Figured out a way to know the numbers in advance and make sure that the only people who got those numbers were friends or family members of his.
Wow.
And so a lot of, like, lotteries were rigged, and a lot of his friends got money, and then he got money from them. Whole big obvious scandal thing. Well, it took several years, but finally somebody is suing to get their money back for the lottery tickets.
Yeah.
Because they're like saying, like, hey, we all paid for a chance to win. There wasn't even a chance for us to win.
Yeah.
Why can't we get our money back? Where's our refund, motherfucker?
Yeah.
So that's going on right now, and that's kind of interesting to see how. I'm curious how that's going to work out. Because I imagine most people don't have any sort of proof of their ticket purchase, so they can't get the refund.
Right.
And so since the guy who filed the case was the first one to file it, they'll take refunds out of everything and fees and everything, but he'll probably walk away with a lot more money than anyone else will.
Yeah, that shit's fucking nuts, man.
Oh, it blows my mind that this guy got away with it for so long, too. Like, it was for over the course of, like, 5 years or something, or 10 years. Where no one ever questioned that this dude is living in, like, a giant fucking mansion. Off of, like, I mean, he was making good money, but not fucking live in a mansion good
Yeah.
money at all, even close
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, you would think he'd be smarter about flashing his fucking wealth, his ill-gotten gains.
Right?
That's not
Like,
though.
I might have a mansion, but nobody I worked with would ever be there or know it. Because if I had all that
Yeah.
extra money, I could also just have a regular house. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah. I've never really understood wanting a mansion, to be honest with you.
or like a really upscale apartment or something. Because you're like, well, I mean, why would I even have a house? There's no reason. And then just never tell them about my house. It's way out in the fucking countryside that I go visit, you know, for a week or two every couple of months.
Yeah, I would just have like a decent sized house, but with a lot of really nice shit in it.
Yeah, I would never buy a giant mansion. But I'm just saying, like, if I was in his situation and I felt the need to have one,
Yeah. Yeah, you would
I would just
think
rent
you'd
an
have the
upscale
sense.
condo or something, so that everybody thought like, oh, that's a normal thing that you would buy at that level of income, and it's really
Yeah.
easy to make it look like you live there. And then because you just live there during the week when you're at work or whatever, and then like on your weekends you go to your fucking really nice mansion and enjoy the hell out of it. It's just
But
like
no,
incredibly
you'd have
dumb to be
show
like,
off. Yeah.
yeah, and then here's my like fucking, you know, Lamborghini Ferrari Testarossa or whatever. And he's like, I don't know why you'd be showing that off, dummy. I guess, you know, like,
Yeah.
you know, if you're so into money that you're willing to risk like jail for fucking years and years and years, you know, part of the what you get out of having the money is showing off to other people, I guess.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. That does seem to be a motivator for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But no, I'd be more interested in not getting caught. You know, that
Mm-hmm.
impulse far outweigh the impulse to show off my ill-gotten gains.
Oh, I'd have faded away a long time before he did.
Yeah.
Once you got enough money that you're not going to have to work anymore, like, and you got, you know, plenty to like fucking, you know, like a cushion or more than just what you think you need,
Right.
then it's
right.
like it's time to go.
Yeah.
You know, retire from your job and be like, hey, you know what? This is just too stressful for me. I love you guys. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna, you know, go working somewhere much less stressful, and then like take off and just never fucking talk to those people again. Like, I'm fucking done.
Yeah. Yeah. Find some spot where you don't have to explain where all your money came from, and you can just fucking
Oh,
live
just
out
yeah,
your
you
days.
just move into a new state. That's all you have to do.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't take much.
Yeah, no one's gonna come and like if you were in like Kentucky and you moved to like Texas, no one's gonna. I mean, even though they're close together. It just no one's gonna fucking drive to fucking Texas to come see you. You know, it's just not
Yeah.
very likely.
Yeah. You can find a decent house in the middle of nowhere. You don't have to really interact with a whole lot of people. Nobody's got to
Well,
know how much your bank account holds.
and not only would you not have to interact with a lot of people, like even if you did, well, would they not trust that you're like, oh, I just made a lot of money doing this or that, whatever.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
made a lot of money in investments. It's very boring and dry. I'm not going to get into it, but like you know, I was very good at it, and
Yeah.
now I live here and I'm very comfortable.
Yeah. Did some internet shit.
And you don't have to
So
be off the
yeah.
fucking like off the radar entirely. You don't have to like go live like a fucking hermit. It's just nobody in Kentucky is going to be driving around looking at your house and seeing like, oh, dude, you see this guy? He's out in Texas living in a mansion. Because even if they did, like,
Yeah. So
what are they going to, how do they know that that's not just you working somewhere else for better money? You're just like a really dumb criminal.
Yeah, it's just, well, it's pride, I guess, or not pride, but whatever. It's some weird shit, some weird mental thing where people have to know how much money I have.
Yeah. Yeah, like I would really care. Like if somebody gave me $5 million, but then somebody else is like rubbing my nose in the fact that they've got 10, like I would give a shit.
Yeah, it's very bizarre.
I'd be like, I just got $5 million. I'm retiring. I'm gonna go live on the coast and smoke weed and relax at the fucking beach every day, and I'm gonna grow my own fucking fruits and vegetables. Like, all right, peace. Like,
yeah.
I'm gonna go eat fish and fruit and great salads every day for the rest of my life. What a horrible fate. Oh no, this other guy has more money than me. Good for him.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, anything I really want, I got plenty to cover it. So fuck off with your extra fucking unnecessary surplus of money.
Yeah, like I'm never be feel the need to buy like the really expensive car to like show off or anything. I want the one, like I want the car that's just always gonna start when I go out and put my key in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know what that is? That's a Honda or a Toyota every fucking time, and you can get a lot of luxury in those vehicles. But
yeah, what Honda's? Yeah, you could even go with the. All of them have obviously their luxury lines, like what's Honda's Acura, right?
But I mean,
like
even
Infiniti,
if you
Ford,
pay for the
Nissan.
best Honda you can get with all the best like luxury items in it, it's going to be comparable to like the high end Mercedes and all the other stuff. But it's going to be like less than half the price.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think of now. Let's see. What is it? Toyota is Lexus. Nissan is Infiniti. Honda.
Yeah, Honda's Acura.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Is there one I'm missing? And then obviously some of them are their own thing.
There's Mercury and Ford.
Does Mercury qualify as a luxury now?
But I mean, they're the high end Ford.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Fuck. Ford and. Oh, it was Chevy and Pontiac, right? Like, cause like they went Trans Ams and Camaros, they're essentially the same thing.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
But end of the day, there's a lot of really reliable, really high-end high-end feeling cars
regular.
that don't cost a ton of money.
Brand. Dodge Hellcat. You ever hear that story about the dude that had, I guess the Hellcat's super fast, like Charger, like a Dodge Charger, like super souped up. There's, I forget where it was at, but apparently this dude had this fucking Hellcat that was just fucking ridiculously fast.
Oh yeah.
And he was constantly fucking with the cops and having them chase him and having no fucking chance to catch him. Every few months he would take it out, and they'd see it. They're like, "There he is! I got him. Let's get him." Like, you might not even be speeding at the time, but they're gonna pull him over because of the 10 other times they fucking chased him and couldn't catch him. God damn it! I gotta find that.
That's hilarious, dude.
Dude, it's pretty fucking funny.
I know. When I was in working. I was like 18, 19 years old working at Sears Auto Center. One of the guys there had a 69 Charger that he'd rebuilt from the ground up. And it was cherry, and it went real fast. Like, holy fuck, it went so fast.
Oh, wow, this one's a fucking... Okay, a Dodge. I don't know if it's Hellcat the actual name.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Charger
sorry, I just put in
had.
Hellcat in police chase. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was gonna say that the one thing that was really cool about the Charger was it had these seatbelts that you could cinch tight. Like you had a little thing where you
Oh
pulled it and it
wow.
tightened it up. And then he
All
would
right.
floor the gas after you tightened it as tight as you could get it, and you'd have inches of space because you'd be pushed back in the seat so far.
Wow, that's fucking
It
funny.
was fucking so fun.
That is pretty impressive. God damn. Yeah, to have that thing to hold your neck in place. Thing that would have saved Dale Earnhardt's life.
We probably should have had those. We should have probably put those on. Yeah, no, that would not have been a bad idea. He would take it out and do like J turns and power slides. So just like all sorts of crazy shit that's really, really dangerous that we should not have been doing.
Yeah, but if he's got the talent, it's fun to ride along. If he knows,
You know what? He
was
really good at it.
Oh shit! Oh shit! I accidentally started the video. Okay, there we go. Yeah, there's one of them. I just typed in Hellcat police chase. There's one where the fucking Hellcat out fucking chopper. The fucking outruns the helicopter being able to keep up with it and still see it.
All right, his Charger was not that fast. That's for damn sure.
Right. Yeah, it says Dodge Hellcat outruns chopper in Houston police chase. Wow.
Yeah, I imagine they really wanted to get that motherfucker. Fucking dusted their helicopter, making them look like fools. Oh, no.
Where's the other one? Hellcat takes... All right, so apparently there's anybody with a Hellcat apparently is buying them just to run from the fucking cops.
That's what they're all doing.
All right, you got to sign this thing that says you're not going to fuck with the cops if you buy the car. What do you mean? It's the whole fucking reason for buying one of these things. Okay, I'll sign it. Wow, 220? What the fuck?
Damn.
Hellcat escapes cops at 220 miles per hour.
God damn, dude.
I don't know about that one. I understand the car is very fast, very souped up, but goddamn, 20?
That is a pretty fucking intense ride right there. I'd be pretty fucking terrified.
Yeah, I think I'm a very decent driver. I've driven fast plenty of times. I do not think I would want to try to handle that. I would have to work my way up to that.
Yes.
I'd be like, all right, let me go about 140, see how I do with that. Inch it up 150 and so on.
See, I want to say that's all stupid, but at the same time, it's like, when you get behind a fast car, it kind of changes you, I'm guessing.
Yeah, well, shit, just the fucking Infinity I had was pretty goddamn quick. The fucking I-35. Because I actually had a coworker that I worked with, and we'd like gone to lunch or whatever, and he's like, dude, my car is the same, and it's not this fast. So I don't know whoever did what with the car I got, like before they sold it. But yeah, that's about as fast as I want to go.
Yeah, I think the most I've ever done is 130. 130 is definitely pretty fucking scary.
Yeah, that's about where. Actually, I never did that with that one. I had a G20, an Infinity G20 before that I got up to about 130. Deliberately went on a fucking very, a good road that was not always well traveled late at night, and got it up to about 130.
Holy shit, looks like the G3 ran into trouble. Maybe they'll sort this out.
But yeah, I never did that with the one with the I-35. I kind of stopped doing that kind of shit.
At a certain point,
once I had the kids.
Yeah, at a certain point, it's like, I can't keep driving like a goddamn lunatic.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be
I was very
dead,
much
so
single with no children when I was taking the G20 around, fucking hauling ass everywhere.
I mean, you never know. See, I don't drive. Obviously, I don't even have a learner's yet. I haven't even tried it. But I tend to think to myself, if I did start driving, I wonder if I'm gonna be one of those responsible drivers, or will it get to my head eventually and just go, it's just fucking, tear rubber.
God damn. It sounds fun though. I mean,
Yeah, but gotta be careful.
yeah, I have never gotten caught for a lot of the speeding that I've done and had to pay like a ticket for or deal with the fines for like as a result of my decisions.
See, I don't think I could ever speed, mostly because they'll catch you on everything. Because I live in one of those progressive cities that became a 15-minute city. Have you guys heard of it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that means they track you everywhere at any moment. So it's like, yeah, there's no getting away from it.
When I was a kid, that wasn't a concern. So you got to drive on the country roads and pretty much do whatever the fuck you wanted because no one was there other than other people driving, and they usually just didn't care as long as they weren't being put at risk with your fucking dumb bullshit.
Oh yeah, I think you can still go on country roads. I mean, I don't think there's any real issue with that. But like in a city, it's like, yeah, they're going to track and monitor everything that you do. There's nowhere you can go they're not going to see you because it's a 15-minute city, a smart city that tracks your every move.
So fucking creepy.
Well, what I found out that because the first thing they did, they didn't even tell us they were doing this. They changed all the street lights, and so they're like these new LED street lights. And you would think, oh yeah, it's lights. They light better. Okay, whatever. But it turns out that it's not just that. They have like a 5G thing connected to them. That pretty
They're
much
like a camera essentially.
Yeah, well, I don't know if the cameras have been installed yet. I know they're coming, but they essentially they track everywhere you go via your cell phone. So it's like, yeah, you walk in with your phone. They're connecting via the Wi-Fi or the 5G or whatever. So they watch everywhere that you go, and they record your conversations. So like, and I don't just mean like through your phone. I mean there's an actual microphone in all the streetlights. So if you're around them, it's recording your conversation.
Oh
Everything
wow.
you say. Yeah, that's the part of the problem with the.
That's even creepier than a camera. Like camera's creepy enough.
Yeah, but no, they have the means that they can actually they track everywhere you go. Through that, they can also find out your purchases. I don't know how, but somehow they can do that. And yeah, they listen in on everything you say. So yeah, there's no privacy anymore. Doesn't exist, at least in my. And I think
they took out all the traffic cameras in my area. Like they used to be able to give you tickets for with cameras.
Hmm?
They're all gone.
Yeah, I don't know.
They had to take them all out because they were deemed to be unconstitutional.
That would be a smart thing. I like that. They need to do that here. I would hope.
Yeah, really. I would agree.
Yeah, I like I always say, Canada's a magical place.
Yeah, no, they've definitely nipped that kind of stuff in the bud here. I don't know how well though. I mean, it's entirely possible that stuff could still be there, and I just don't know.
Possibly. It's hard to know.
Yeah, the one that was claiming 220, going 220, by the way, does not seem like he's going 220. Like, it's basically filming from inside the car and showing the...
Oh, just the speedometer?
Yeah, and it's not flying... Shit's just not flying by fast enough to look like he's actually going that fast. The one I just posted, the Arkansas one, that's pretty fucking fast. Like, the cop's going pretty goddamn fast, and that car is easily pulling away from him.
Yeah.
Yep, there was I think it was in a Russian city or something. There was this dude who would drive his like souped up car out just to fuck with the cops all the time. Like it was entertaining because all his videos on YouTube were just him dusting the fucking cops.
Yeah. No, that's fucking hilarious. Like, I wonder if, like, the cops, like, get pissed off. It seems like they would, but I don't know. If I was the cop, I'd be like, that's pretty
Well,
fucking
you would
badass,
imagine, like,
dangerous.
I would think they would get mad, but yeah, like, I don't know.
I would still be impressed. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I would almost... Yeah, I would almost be like, fuck, man. We've been trying to catch you for years, dude.
Oh, yeah, they've been doing it for years. That's got to be so frustrating.
Trying to requisition something that's just as fast, just for the one guy that keeps fucking with you. Yeah, it goes out like once every few months. We need a car to catch him.
Honestly, I think that would just be a terrible idea because other people will look at that as a challenge and they'll come there, raise the cops.
Yeah, I assume that it would mostly get denied, and they're like, all right, yeah, he's doing it every once in a while, and there's no real traffic around the areas that he's doing it in. So maybe we should just stop chasing it, and maybe he'll get bored.
Go away.
It's like I used to live in an area that had street races, like every weekend, at least on Fridays in particular.
Oh, I've never been in an area where they did like actual street races. I mean, I've seen it on TV and shit.
See, like I didn't know where it was. I knew it was in the area. In fact, when I used to live in a high-rise apartment, and it was like around 9 o'clock at night, I could just hear it happening, and I remember thinking, like, what the fuck? You think they'd do something about it, but nah, never did. And it's like they'll hear it a little bit and they're gone. Okay, I guess.
Damn.
Yeah, it was super annoying.
Yeah, we have once in a while, we have, where I work, there's like some asshole. I don't know if it's always the same asshole or a bunch of different assholes, but I just refer to it as some asshole. Because like every so often on either Friday or a Saturday night, some asshole will go and just burn the fuck out with like at 1 a.m. and just screaming loud fucking noise. It's the most obnoxious thing.
Yeah, that's pretty shitty.
With his fucking super fucking loud car, and you're like,
yeah, like why the fuck couldn't you find some nice quiet spot where people aren't around to do that shit?
It would be like very nice.
You have to do it. If you feel compelled to do it, like at least go somewhere where there's not a bunch of fucking houses and shit around.
Yeah, that would be nice. It would be very nice, but not every so often this dude just feels the need to fucking turn that one intersection where I work at, like, do a fucking race track or something. It's very frustrating. And it's not like I'm going to call the police, because, like, what are they going to fucking do? Even if I did, you know, they'd never get there in time to, for it to matter, like, for them to catch him or, like, do anything.
You got to yell at him, dude, one of these times. Hey, man, I'm trying to work here. And by work, I mean sleep.
Yeah.
Fucking knock it off.
We already had, like, some dude that freaked out and, like, started attacking our fucking property and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, dude just was, like, for some reason, flipped shit and was, like, screaming at our clients and, like, screaming at the house for a while. At one point, he went in front of the house, pulled up in his SUV, and was playing the music loud enough that the people inside the house were wearing earplugs. Like, literally, the staff and the clients inside had to use earplugs because it was so loud. And you got to wonder, like, he's outside in his car. Like, that's got to be 10 times worse for him.
Did he ever articulate what his issue was with you? With your program or whatever?
No, I don't think so.
It's not going to make sense, but
at one point, the guy that is in charge had the company's attorney write him a cease and desist. And that was the end of that.
All right.
So, I mean, to be fair, it was one of those things where you're like, oh, yeah, well, that makes sense. You can't just constantly do that kind of stuff and not, like, end up in jail. Because I'm sure, like, if they'd wanted to, they could have fucking called the fucking police and had him arrested for the... at the very least, for the fucking noise, for the fucking... when he was out there playing with his Jeep fucking speakers.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like a level of noise that is literally harmful to other people. Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect him to have like a reason that made sense, but I was just kind of curious if he ever said like what his fucking problem
we
was.
never figured out what his problem was, like why he was so mad. Like that just never.
Just wired differently, I guess.
Bizarre.
Yep, he just was very angry.
I guess you just happen to be the most convenient.
He might have not liked that we were a program or something. Maybe, I don't know.
He's like, I'm clearly
you know what?
The
guys do fucking leave their cigarette stuff out and like dirty up the fucking area, like around the sidewalk where they all smoke. So I could see him being upset about that. That would actually not be unreasonable to be mad. So maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, although that seems like an odd form of protest for that kind of thing, but I guess. But again, I guess we're applying like sane, rational thoughts to somebody who is probably not capable of that kind of thing.
Yeah, he was not the most rational actor. That is a fair point, sir. That is definitely fair.
Try to figure out what this fucking insane guy is thinking. With our sane and rational fucking mind.
Yep. I mean, I got nothing for it. I mean, dude was out of his fucking board.
Yeah.
Oh, did you guys? I don't know if you guys ever heard about that 16-year-old guy who was the one that stole like airplanes and shit. I think he was the basis for Catch Me If You Can.
Oh.
But like as the reality, he's much less classy than the character played by basically
DiCaprio.
he was like he grew up in a shitty fucking house with a single mom who was a drunk, and so like he wasn't getting enough food and everything, so he would he met some guy that helped him figure out how to break into places to get like stuff and whatever, so he could sell and get like the things that he needed. And then he started stealing more and more and more, and he kept getting away with it because it was like basically they were like living in a vacation area.
Yeah, where the houses were vacant like 90% of the time.
Yeah, exactly. And so like 80% of the houses had no one in them like 90% of the year or some crazy shit like that. I forget what the numbers were, but it was definitely pretty fucking nutty.
Yeah. No, he's not the basis for that. I think that happened after that movie came out.
Oh, really?
That guy's
Okay.
name is Frank Abagnale or whatever.
The part that got me was how everybody was like treating this kid like he's a hero. I'm like, nice, kind of just a piece of shit.
Yeah,
like,
the one that you're
people
talking
worked
about,
for that
I know what
stuff.
you're
It's not like
talking
they got it for free. I mean,
yeah.
He's like, oh, the insurance
Yeah, the Abagnale
for everything.
one-
Well, not everybody has insurance, dude. Like, like that's not.
Yeah. The one that Catch Me If You Can was based on was different because he was mostly just, like a stowaway, from fucking pretending to be a pilot. But yeah, no, the kid you're talking about is literally. Yeah, stealing planes from airports.
Yeah, and everybody's treating him like he's some
Shit.
sort of fucking Robin Hood.
Yeah. No, he's just a fucking psychopath, dude.
Yeah, he was a
Pretty much.
sociopath who basically just did whatever he wanted, and it was pretty fucking gnarly, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah, I think. Fuck. I think is he the one that like learned, taught himself how to fly like by using the flight simulator shits on like computers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he crashed almost every plane he flew.
Yeah. So I'm saying the Catch Me If You Can guy never actually flew any of the planes.
Oh, did the Catch Me? He never actually flew the plane?
No, he was almost exclusively. He would just like catch a ride, be like, "Hey, I'm trying to get to this place." So they would have this little jumper. Have you seen the movie? There's like this little weird jumper seat that pulls out that pilots or other airline employees can sit on if they want to catch a free ride.
Oh, okay. I thought I could have sworn he flew the plane and was like pretending to be a doctor and pretended to be a pilot and
No,
somehow
even the
managed to pull
doctor
off a
thing,
lot
he
of the
never.
stuff in that. Maybe I just didn't pay that much attention to the movie when I watched it.
Yeah, no, he never actually flew planes or did any actual like surgeries or anything. Like he managed to be like the head guy in the ER, but I don't think he ever. Yeah, he never actually did any surgeries or any operations or anything. Like
Damn.
he forged enough shit to where he did not have to, do any of the actual work, like get himself into an administrative spot.
Oh, smart. So he was like the guy who was making decisions that were like nothing to do with actual life and death. It was just like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. His underlings would be doing any of the emergency surgeries and such.
oh, clever. No, but I just thought it was weird how many people thought this kid was like some sort of fucking hero. I'm like, you're kidding, right?
Yeah, I would assume that they're like somehow in their head equating it with the Catch Me If You Can guy.
Maybe. I mean,
He
I
was
guess that
stealing a
makes
shitload of
sense.
money and all that. Because again, he was doing that. He was forging checks and all that kind of shit too. But yeah, he wasn't actually crashing planes and doing all that. If he wasn't doing the check thing, I mean, he could almost like it would technically really be a pretty harmless crime, like just stowing away and pretending to be a pilot to get a free fucking plane ride.
Oh.
But he was also pretending to be an employee and cashing employee checks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he was.
Yeah, it's a good movie, dude. If you haven't seen it, it's actually a pretty good fucking movie.
I'll have to check it out again. I do. I kind of want to watch the new White Men Can't Jump as well.
Yeah, like a morbid curiosity kind of thing.
Yeah, like how bad is it? Because like I remember the first one being all right. Like it wasn't a terrible movie, but it wasn't great.
Yeah, it didn't need a sequel.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact,
All right.
Oh.
Yeah, like I said, I assume it's just the anti-white. Oh shit, there was a movie called White Men Can't Do Something? All right.
No, we'll make fun of the white people. Oh man, I'm trying to think if there was anything else I had up there. I think I've covered all the little things that I brought to the table.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't watch as many of them. Intending to this week. I was catching up at the end. I watched the one bitch in Ghana and the dude in Prescott there dealing with the fucking police guys. But then I think I was watching one where the bitch killed her husband because there was a video attached to the one about the bitch in Ghana like defrauding people or whatever. Then there was another one about some chick that had killed her husband and then like wrote a book about
Oh yeah.
dealing with loss and dealing with grief and all that shit about like a kid's book. And it turns out she's the one that killed their fucking dad. So I'm like, oh, okay, so she had the kids help her and co-write it so she could understand what emotions are. Okay, that makes sense. They didn't say that, but that's kind of the thing I got.
Yeah.
I don't actually feel anything, so I'm gonna need my kids to tell me what emotions feel like.
Let's see. Oh, I just fucking looked at it. How am I forgetting already? Oh, there was this big hubbubaloo because some high school put fucking tampon dispensers in the men's room.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it got destroyed, and they were all like, it got destroyed because it was feminine products in the men's room, and boys can't handle girls' products. And it was like, no, because it's a high school.
Yeah. Yeah, kids are gonna destroy shit, especially if they see something that's fucking totally useless.
Yeah. It's like if it's not the toilet paper dispenser, or the door, it's fair game. Like,
yeah. Yeah, again, it's something that obviously has no fucking purpose, so destroying it, there's no loss, so fuck it. Young kids are going to destroy something like that fucking 9 times out of 10.
every chance they get, really.
Yeah.
Let's see, was there other one? I have been seeing a lot of stuff, a lot of people talking about like the prank. It's just a prank bro channels.
Yeah, they're getting really fucking stupid.
Like the one I saw most recently was the one on the kid in the UK. It's like a group of black kids in the UK. Yeah, he just walks into people's houses and shit as a part of a prank. And I'm like, do that in the US, dude.
I was actually just about to bring that up about that guy in the UK. He was on Piers Morgan not too long ago, and Piers was bringing that up to him. They said, "Oh, it's just a prank, just a prank." It's like, "Oh, you wouldn't be talking to me like this if I wasn't black." And he's like, "Race? What does race have to do with you fucking breaking into people's homes?"
Yeah.
He's just walking in, but he's uninvited. God damn it!
Yeah. Granted,
try that
you
in one of the castle doctrine states here, which are most of them.
Yeah, really, do that in Florida and see how that works out for you, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't see this. The one about the teacher groomer. What was that, dude?
Which one? There's so many.
Out. Yeah. Whichever one you posted. Groomer teacher forced out after getting caught. Media lies to protect her. Dude, this is so fucking bizarre, dude.
Let's see. Oh, also, what's his name? That creepy ass YouTuber, the one who used to rate girls, like teenage girls.
Oh, Onision?
Yeah, he's facing a bunch of big ass lawsuits that he's probably gonna lose, like for a lot of money.
Yeah, good. That guy's a fucking.
Oh yeah. So she was trying to question. She was talking about like she was giving a book to the students. That was I forget what the name of the book was called, but it included instructions on how to meet adult men for anonymous sex, so that you couldn't get caught and they wouldn't get caught.
Wow.
How you should consume things like cum and feces for the adult men.
Gross.
It teaches how to get apps and how to use those apps to make photos and stuff to attract adult men on anonymous websites, like for dating and stuff. And then the media's trying to pretend like she's some sort of fucking champion of the people, of like the LGBT people, because she's giving out these books that are, you know, how could books be bad? And it's like, well, when the book advocates pedophilia, and is trying to teach children that not only is pedophilia good, but here's how you go out and get yourself raped. Like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah, what the
If
fuck,
I have to be a
dude?
Nazi to say no to that, then fucking see Kyle, I'm in.
And this was a female teacher?
Yeah, and she was giving this to her fucking,
What?
like, junior high students.
What the fuck for? Like, why would she... Like, I would have to imagine there's, like, pedophiles paying her, dude. Otherwise, why the fuck is she doing it?
Because she's a degenerate. Because
Yeah.
this is what happens
Yeah.
when you... This is what happens when you turn away from God, apparently.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
yeah, and then I like
suppose,
the story right after that is DeSantis banning child sex change surgeries in Florida. I'm like, well, that's a positive one.
I mean, yeah, I'm okay with that.
That was my thought, too.
But then, like, didn't they retaliate by putting a bunch of like warnings, travel warnings, if you want to go to Florida, to say like, oh yeah, you could be at risk or so and so. I don't know, some bullshit like that.
Yeah, probably.
Just tit for tat at this
Sounds
point. It's not even like remotely reasonable.
The whole Disney versus DeSantis thing is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know who Legal Mindset is.
No.
You know, it's obviously a channel on YouTube and Rumble or whatever. But yeah, he's like he lives in like Korea or something now, South Korea. But anyways, he used to live in Florida, and like his specialty was special districts. And basically, Disney, it's called the Reedy Creek Improvement, whatever it's called. But basically, it was supposed to be independent of Disney, and it's quite obviously wasn't. And it's been like talked about for years about how this shit should be pulled, because there's literally no other special districts in Florida that has as complete control over a special district as that one is. But yeah,
Weird.
basically he's breaking it down. It's like, and what's his name? Iger is on a fucking what do they call it? Investor call? You know, where you get like questions from the investors and shit. And the way it's set up is they are absolutely supposed to be separate. Disney and this Reedy Creek thing are supposed to be completely separate. And he's literally on this fucking call talking about how they're basically one and the same. Or what he's saying is absolutely stating that. Because they've like fucking all these lawsuits that Disney's trying to fucking pull to get that shit reversed or whatever the fuck. And from what he's saying is like they have no fucking chance. There's no way they can really win this.
So Disney's just locked out?
Yeah, well, Disney's isn't going to win. And one of them is actually a First Amendment claim that they're claiming DeSantis is doing it as retaliation for them opposing the alleged "Don't Say Gay" bill from a while back.
Oh yeah, the bill that had absolutely nothing to do with saying gay.
Yeah, yeah, that would be the one. So yeah, but apparently, again, this has been in talks for fucking decades at this point to get that shit pulled, because again, they're enjoying privileges that literally no one else. Like there's like I don't know, at least 2,000 special districts in Florida, and none of them have anywhere near the complete control that one had for that, which is something Walt Disney pulled off when he was alive back in the 60s, and Florida was not nearly as developed as it is now. And fucking
damn,
like it probably could have never happened, but they were like, oh shit, all right.
Yeah, well, you know what? Good for fucking DeSantis fucking Disney
DeSantis.
over. Disney's a bunch of fucking garbage anyway.
Yeah, whether he's doing it as a retaliatory thing or not, it's something that should have been done a long fucking time ago.
Yeah, they should never have had that level of authority over anything anyway.
Yeah, and apparently there's an issue with like some kind of fraud with the bonds. They had like $1 billion in bonds going through that shit. So apparently there's some kind of SEC fucking fraud shit going there. Yeah, a lot of fucking squirrely shit they're up to, man. Yeah. Yeah, no, like I said, if that's what he actually did for fucking years and years. And there's other lawyers that don't really, certainly aren't specialists for fucking special districts in fucking Florida to like claim more authority than him is a little fucking bizarre.
Yeah.
Like, nah, that guy that dealt with those as his profession for decades and decades, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Yeah. Me, who's never dealt with a special district anywhere. You trust my word.
Yes, absolutely. 150 billion%.
His name is Andrew Esquire. Legal Mindset, and like the guy's name, which is the most lawyery fucking name I've ever heard in my life.
It really is a very lawyery name. Like, that is an exceptionally lawyery name.
Yeah, like I thought you're supposed to add that after your name if you're a lawyer or something. I don't even know what it means, but I feel like I've heard that after lawyers' names.
It sounds. I remember like they did a thing about it in like the fucking Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Which one? It was Ted, right? No, Bill. I forget which one's which actually. Ted is Keanu Reeves, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Bill S. Preston Esquire, Ted Theodore Logan.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Bill S. Preston Esquire. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna look up Esquire now. I gotta fucking know. A title appended to a lawyer's surname. Okay. That's helpful. I don't know why he would not name him, why he would not add that, dude. That would be fucking hilarious. Hi, I'm Andrew Esquire.
I'm Esquire.
Oh, historical. Here we go. Okay, North American, it says a title appended to a lawyer's surname. Doesn't really say why. Historical, a young nobleman who, in training for knighthood, acted as an attendant to a knight. Okay. Title of respect has been used for centuries to refer to lawyers. Derived from Latin, okay. One of these has got to have one. All right, yeah, I'm not finding any reasons for it other than lawyers sometimes add it after their name, but not a why.
So you're saying that what was his name? Bill is a lawyer?
Yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Bill did not understand what Esquire was. He thought it just sounded good, I would imagine.
I mean, if we just give ourselves titles, I mean, yeah, why not?
I don't know why, but that reminded me of that scene in. Have you guys ever seen the movie Who's the Man?
Oh,
no.
With it was with Dr. Dre and Ed Lover, the guys from Yo MTV Raps.
Does not strike a bell.
There's a scene. Yeah, but basically they become cops, and then Dennis Leary is the police captain.
Oh,
and
no.
He goes off on him about calling himself doctor. He's like, my brother went to school for like 8 years just so he could call himself doctor.
Yeah.
And you're just deciding. He's like, you know what? I'm going to name myself. And it's funny because he does the accent. And his last name's Cooper. So when he says he's going to call himself King Cooper, it sounds like he's saying King Koopa.
Yeah, I can see that. God damn.
All right, sorry. That was a bit of a non sequitur.
I mean, we went all the way down that journey, and I'm not sure where we're going. Let's see.
I gotta find it, though. It is a pretty fucking... Because it's Dennis Leary going on the rant. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, what was it, that lady with the fucking margaritas?
Lady with the margarita. What happened? Did I post
You
something?
posted a lady who was like, and if you give a woman one margarita, she'll let you touch her boobies or something. And then if you give you two margaritas, she'll put your penis in her mouth. And you're like, I don't think that's how margaritas work. Like, I don't think it's a direct economy. I think
I mean,
you gotta have some sort of
I
charm
don't
too.
I don't
mean,
think
it
it was
depends-
me because I don't remember that. Oh, was you, Samaj?
no, I was just gonna say, like, I think it tends to depend on the woman because there's a few of them out there. It's like you normally it's like, oh yeah, you buy a woman dinner. Well, that's like a first date, and then you go, you second, third, maybe she'll let you touch her boobie, maybe that that kind of stuff. It's like I asked the chick out for dinner one time, and went back to her place and I smashed. I mean, it's not that hard. Although, granted, that was back in September, but still.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like a direct related between like, I'm just gonna hand somebody margaritas and they're guaranteed to give me sex, though. That's the part that was weird about it. Because she was ranting out in the street on a megaphone in front of a whole big crowd of people, and I don't know why, or why any of the people were there. But she was just like, she was all about like, and two margaritas, and she'll touch your penis, and three margaritas, she'll put it in her mouth, and four margaritas, she'll put it in her pussy, and then five margaritas, she'll put it in her asshole, or something. And you were just like, you as the audience are just left to be like, I don't know what any of this is in relation to, but right on. Good for you guys.
I vaguely remember that, but I don't remember. Oh, here it is. This is Your Mom's House podcast. They're talking about it.
Yeah, you were the one that posted it, so
where the fuck did I come up with that from? Because I don't go to Reddit.
Well,
yeah, fuck. Yeah, I don't know how.
Your
how
name on
came
it,
across
sir.
that.
You're gonna have to be the one to figure that one out.
I apparently did not listen to it far enough myself before posting it because I don't even remember that.
That is pretty fucked
me,
up.
dude.
That's kind of funny.
God damn it, dude. That's fucking disturbing. I did post it, and I do not remember why.
Definitely a good sign.
Maybe we've been going for too long. Time to wind down. Take it easy. Go have some dinner.
Nah, that happened a while ago, dude. That was back on the 19th.
Since you had dinner?
Break since then.
Really? That's a long time to go from a meal.
Actually, it might be. I mostly just eat snack on white chocolate Reese's and Nutella and peanut butter.
See, that's why you got
Pecans
weight
broken
problem.
up in it.
That's why you got weight
Oh,
problem.
no, I'm not. There's no mystery about why I'm overweight.
See, okay, I for a while there, I remember like I got like a free sample of Nutella because I don't buy stuff out of curiosity all the time because it's like, what if I don't like it? It's like I don't buy Nutella because I didn't think it, but someone had me a free sample. I tried it out for the first time, fucking loved it. Nutella, holy shit, that was so good. And so then I went out and I got I ended up getting an entire jar. I would just get a spoon, just eat this shit. I'm like, okay, all right, I gotta stop.
Well,
doing
like
that.
Nutella is deceptive though, because it says hazelnut butter, but the first ingredient is just sugar.
Yeah, dude, I remember because they actually got sued because I remember seeing it in advertisements where they were basically giving the impression that it was like a healthy thing.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
I actually believed it. Like, I'm a fucking idiot, obviously, but like the way they presented it, I'm like, wow, that stuff tastes that good, and it's like a part of a healthy breakfast. And then it turns out they got sued for very deceptive advertising.
That makes a lot of
God,
sense. Did not know that they'd been sued, but I'm not at all surprised.
Yeah, no, they got me. And again, obviously, I'm a fucking dumbass for not questioning something like that.
I too thought it was healthy. No, you're not the only one they got, man. I thought it was healthy for a long time too.
See,
I thought it was akin to peanut butter. You know, like it's not the best thing for you, but it's not bad.
I had noticed when I went on like a Nutella kick there that I had all the time. but I noticed when I got out of the shower, it's like, oh shit, I'm getting bigger. Holy fuck, like fat big. And so I at first I thought like maybe is it Nutella because I have been eating a lot of that. So then I stopped for a bit and I checked my weight. Like, yeah, it was clearly the Nutella. I haven't had it again since, but it was fucking good.
Yeah, yeah, it's a pain in the ass to work with because it's so goddamn sticky. Like, because I would like to put it on like vanilla ice cream. It's really good. We mix all that shit up, but goddamn, it's so fucking sticky and pain in the ass to get off like a spoon and shit.
Oh yeah, it's rough.
Yeah,
It's like
I've
a
never had-
non-Newtonian fluid somehow. I don't know
Right.
how else to describe it.
I made
Yeah,
my
it's a
thing.
fluid that's almost entirely incapable of flowing.
Yeah, I made my thing to never have Nutella ever again. Oh yeah, I've never touched the stuff.
I mean that's a little extreme, but you know, hey.
Nah,
Yeah.
it was
No, I
perfectly
mix it.
reasonable.
Yeah, I do a mix of peanut butter, Nutella, and then I break up like pecans into little pieces and mix it all up. That's pretty good.
Ooh, that sounds pretty tasty.
It's not bad.
Ooh, something just got fucking dropped really, really heavily and loudly.
I didn't hear it. What happened?
I don't know, something out in the living room, just in the living area of the house,
your
just got
place. Okay.
very loudly
Okay.
dropped heavily. I don't know what it is.
All right. I thought you meant you heard something from like one of our places or something.
Oh no. I wouldn't tell either of you guys. I wouldn't want to ruin your day, you know, if somebody was going to murder you evilly while you were on the show.
Yeah.
Probably better that it just come
not to get
fast and
involved.
swift without any sort of, you know, struggle.
Yeah. And again, best not to get involved in that kind of thing anyway.
Yeah, maybe you have like a dead body that's not quite dead yet flopping around in the background. I don't know. I don't want to
Never
get.
witnessed
I don't want to
nothing.
intrude on your business.
Yeah. Never witnessed nothing. You live longer.
Exactly. Snitches get stitches, motherfucker.
Oh my God, what was that from? It was that fucking movie? It was where Stallone was playing a gangster that was trying to go legit. Fuck. That's gonna bug me.
I don't know, but snitches get stitches is an old fucking saying. It's not like that's new.
Yeah. No, what I had said was a quote from that movie where the guy he was witnessing like a legal statement. He was asking one of his former underlings, or I guess still technically his underling, but they were trying to go legit. He's like, "Hey, boss, no, he's like, never witnessed nothing. You live longer."
Jeez, we just saved you. You know, maybe you could be a little grateful. Saved me from
All right, it's gonna fucking bug me.
Look, we were told you had
Snaps Provolone. I remember the guy's name, but not the fucking movie.
We got everything we need. Let's get back to Ranch's place and see if he, can help us encode them onto this.
All right, if I type Stallone, Snaps, that should pull it up. His last name was Provolone. Oh, the movie was called Oscar. Okay.
Provolone.
Yeah, just Oscar. His name was Angelo, and then quotes Snaps Provolone, like the cheese.
Oh, now that you mentioned cheese, that reminds me. Did you know? So you know, there's the strategic maple reserve in Canada, right?
Mhm.
Uh huh.
There is a giant fucking cheese storage in the U.S. where they have like 1.5 billion pounds of fucking cheese just stored away.
All right.
I wonder if it's in that underground facility in Springfield.
Yep, exactly. That's exactly the one. Yep, it's a trip.
Have you seen that tunnel?
It's crazy, right? It's massive.
And they have all those lights hooked up in there, and it's like there's just flat roads. I'm like, what the fuck is this? What is it? Why is
It
here?
looks like something they made for a fucking Indiana Jones movie, and then but in real
I
life.
don't know. Yeah, it's weird.
Well, you know,
But
like
then-
Raiders of the Lost Ark at the very end, the Ark gets put in this giant underground facility that just sort of like, as you pan out, it's just massive. And I'm like, it just reminds me a lot of the cheese storage room.
got a lot of crates with like mysterious objects. I mean, I believe that something like that does exist. I don't know what it's got in it, but who knows? Yeah. But
Yeah, hard to know.
like I've mentioned before, like I've been on a conspiracy theory kick, and I've been listening on a whack of different things that go on there. One of the weirdest ones I've ever heard of, like, have you heard of the Denver airport
Yeah.
and the shit that went on there? Like and all the weird shit that goes on there. Like one of the things that I was trying to figure out is like the project was like the airport when they were building it went massively over budget, but it's like where exactly did the money go? Like it could have just been like like a worker scam or something like that, because that shit can't happen. But I remember someone was doing like looking at the airports, like, yeah, there's really not enough here to justify the cost. And so like one of the rumors that came up there is like there's like an underground facility of some sort. I don't know if I believe it, but I mean, yeah.
At this point, is there anything crazy enough or out there enough that it's not potentially true? You know,
See,
what I mean?
Well, we hear all those conspiracy theories coming true. Like that's why I've been on the kick lately. Cause I'm
Well,
like,
for the longest time, we had all these conspiracy theories about these weird pedophile things going on all over the world, and then fucking Epstein.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
like,
it's
all fucking true now.
Even the local stuff, like with COVID, and it's like you have a question, you're a conspiracy theorist, and then every one of them were true. It's like, yeah, and then there's even been suggested some evidence to be, because when someone had said like the vaccine was going to have like little like robots or something inside of it, well, there actually seems to be some evidence to suggest that might be true, because because if they've been going, because a lot of these people who die, they find out that, like their arteries are clogged with like this stuff, this like
fibrous stuff, yeah. And they don't know what it's from. Yeah.
No, well, it seems like there's parts like what they're doing is they're taking proteins and other such things throughout the body, and they're moving it over to construct these things that purposely are clogging your arteries and giving you all these things, so that way you can just die suddenly. So effectively, that's what it is. It's just sort of it's moving stuff, proteins and stuff around your body to fill up and create these gummy stuff that's killing you. And there's literally nothing that can do that in nature, and not even in stuff that we do in the lab, unless it's something that's artificial. And so it seems like that may be what the case is. And so they're trying to look into, like, maybe is it actually like little micro robots that they're just doing what they're programmed to do. Because it's like, what else could this be? Because nothing else in medicine can work that way. Which is part of that whole mystery of the whole thing. In which case, this would in fact be like a genocide, if you will, if you're actually taking this shit.
Dude, if that turns out to be the case, I don't think there's going to be a lot of, like, people left alive with a lot of that stuff going on.
Well, okay, like we'll see, because like, remember how it first started out there? Because you had 2 shots and you're good for life, and then they said, oh yeah, you needed boosters and all that. I think there's enough there to say, like, yeah, there wasn't enough to get the job done in the first 2 shots, so you need to get more. So I think that there might be enough people that can recover, but in the meantime, it's like, yeah, it's pretty bad.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I think if it ever gets to the point where it becomes just public knowledge and people stop trying to pretend that there wasn't just, like, all sorts of horrible things.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll
yeah. So I mean, I just don't imagine people would let those people live for very long. Like, there would just be crazy vigilante justice going on.
I think you're right about that. That's probably what's going to happen. There's going to be a lot of chaos in the world where there will be a lot of vigilante stuff happening. With that said, though, I hope it doesn't happen until the evidence is fully revealed. Like, okay, let's say you did find out, and then people just start killing them. Well, what goes with that is also like, what else did they do? What else is going on? I think there's more that could be. So 'cause it's probably much more sinister than we think it is. So if they die, well, then they can't confess to all the other shit that they're doing. And I imagine there's a lot more skeletons in people's closets than we realize.
Oh yeah, no, these people are monsters.
Yep.
What was it? It was confirmed that Bill Gates was being blackmailed by whatchamajigger by Epstein because he was fucking around with some fucking kid who was a chess. What do you call it? A chess.
Oh no, fuck, what is it? A bridge competitive.
Yeah, bridge player, cards, yeah.
Yeah, and part of the reason why like he took an interest in this particular girl is because she looks a lot like his daughter. It's like, yeah, that's pretty disturbing, but it's also like par for the course at this point. It's like, am I surprised? No, not at this point.
Yeah, Bill Gates has always been pretty fucking creepy.
Yeah.
But yet, still nothing about Trump because he didn't fucking have anything to do with that shit.
No, I mean the most they can get him on, as far as I can tell, was the he flew on Epstein's planes. Although, like I said, there was this first half of the list of people who went on to Epstein Island, and they said Trump was on the list, and I'm like, I'm not entirely certain if that's true or not.
I imagine they'll try to pretend Trump's on the list like that. That I'm not surprised about.
Yeah, I think he had flown on that plane, but he never went to the island, from what I understand.
He got a ride from one of Epstein's kids on the private jet. Basically, like they allowed him to use the private jet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, he fucking barred Epstein from Mar-a-Lago as soon as he fucking found out the kind of shit he was into.
Yeah, oh, the Epsteins were completely banned.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly why he was banned, but he had definitely banned Epstein from Mar-a-Lago.
Which is, like what you do, like the creepy guy that wants to fuck kids. Like, you don't...
Yeah, you disassociate with him.
Yeah, we don't want that kind of fucking publicity for your place.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, Trump likes them young, but not young like, mid to late 20s young.
Well, yeah, Trump likes them when they're old enough to fucking make a choice for themselves, though.
Yeah. It's what most dudes would do if they could.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm sure, like, if there was some 20-year-old that wanted to bang, I'd be in, like, 100%, yeah, absolutely. I'm not gonna, like, what am I gonna pretend not?
Yeah.
I can't imagine why there would be. I'm a gross 40-year-old dude, but, like,
Yeah. No, you'd have to be super wealthy, and then it wouldn't matter how you were.
True.
Well, I mean, you could do what guys their age won't or are unable to do, which is like, do you have a car? Yeah, probably. Well, you can probably drive them to the movies or to a lake or something. Do you have a house? Yeah, probably. Well, then you have more than like a 20-something who can't afford anything. It's like what people often say. It's like, which sounds more appealing, like Netflix and chill, which is like, some guy's apartment at his college or something, and have like ramen and watch Netflix, or I don't know, go out and see a movie with someone with an actual vehicle that could take you places, take you to a restaurant or something, instead of like McDonald's. It's like how much of that? It's like when I met up with that one girl back in September. It's like I actually took him to a restaurant, like a Boston Pizza or something. I didn't think much of it, but she was awfully impressed. Which made me wonder, it's like, oh, okay. Is that all it takes? All right.
How much fucking, how old is she kind of thing? Minute there?
25.
Oh, okay, never mind. I thought you were maybe like worried because you're like, oh, no,
shit. No, it's just that she does date guys her own age, But the thing is, it's like life fucking sucks. A lot of guys, her current boyfriend, because we just hooked up. We didn't actually date or anything. But like her current boyfriend's like 26, and he's working like 2 jobs, and they can't even afford a house, or they can't afford house payments and all that. They just have like an apartment, and that's about it. I think he has a car. That's about it. So yeah, they can't afford to eat out. They can't afford to do nothing.
Oh, that's just that. Yeah, I can't blame. Well, and it's like, and there's only so much you can do about like not like the basics. Like it's not even like you're asking for a lot to go out of a restaurant.
Well, but that's like the basics. Like young people can't afford the basics anymore, and so when you get an older guy who can do the basics, it's like that's much more interesting. So and that's kind of the problem for a lot of young guys, because we have guys in their 30s who can't even get laid. I mean, if you start making good money, maybe, but it's like you have to start making a fair bit of money just to do it, and it's just not possible.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like most guys in their 20s now have never had sex. Some of them can't even get on a date because they can't afford to do it. And so, and then on top of that, they're competing with like dating apps and stuff. And you have guys who are moderately attractive. They could, in fact, get with a young 20-something, young college girl, because just offer something much more exciting, like a movie, dinner, not Netflix and chill.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like dating, like young people nowadays, like dating is essentially like just going to the same party a few times and interacting at that party with a bunch of other people around. Like it's not going to fucking dinner and a movie.
Wait, really? Like really? Like you don't just...
Dude, that's what kids do nowadays for the most
part. Wow, they don't even go to like a fucking... Because like, you don't even have to spend a lot of money. Well, okay, now you got to spend more. But like, it's not that expensive to go to like a cafe and have like some nice sandwiches and a cup of coffee. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, like,
or like a piece of chicken or something. It's not super expensive to go out to. There's a lot of places you can go on a restaurant date that aren't so bad.
Well, okay, yeah, there are cheaper solutions for sure, but that's often not what a woman wants. They do want to be wine to dine. You offer them, take them out to like not even anything that expensive, like what's it called?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like Chili's isn't super expensive, is it? Is it suddenly like how much are you spending to go to Chili's?
Well, in the modern day standard, it is expensive. So yeah, it's
really. I just stopped going to restaurants because they're shitty food. Like I cook better. Why would I bother? Like.
Well, okay. Part of the reason is like if you were to go on a date, like I doubt that they'll want to come to your house. But they'll eat out for sure.
You've never fucking eaten my food. Let me tell you right now. You do not have any idea until you've eaten my food, man. There is a reason I am fat, and anyone who could cook this good would be much bigger. Trust me. I'm the biggest, the biggest food cooker, the bestest. I'm trying to do Trump, but I don't know if I'm doing it right.
Yeah, it's not even that hard to cook good. I don't know. In my opinion,
no. I mean, yeah. There's all sorts of ways to be romantic that don't involve using money if you're smart. You know what I mean? Like, because you could make really good food and take her to some place as like a fucking picnic or something.
Yeah, but that's not what they're in for. For a lot of women, like a demonstration of money to show that like you can take care of them. Like, hey, I have enough money to eat out every now and then. I can take care of you. It's essentially like, it's a gesture of for being a provider, if you will.
I understand. I understand what you're saying. I don't agree. I'm sure there's ways around that if people are into doing it. I'm not surprised people are so fucking socially retarded that they can't figure out how to make that work. You know what I mean? I think it's probably more a case of people just don't understand how to also women don't understand what can you reasonably expect if you're looking for a real relationship versus just having sex for the night. You know what I mean?
Well, first of all, women are highly narcissistic, so that doesn't matter. They literally don't care about what the struggle is on your end. They just care about themselves.
Okay, that's nothing to do with what I said, though. But I'm okay.
Well, it does because all right. So like they want to be wined and dined. They want to be treated a certain way. They want to get the meal paid for them, if you will. It's a demonstration of being a provider. If you can't even do that, and instead you insist that you must come to my house or whatever else, I mean that.
No. That's not what I was saying. I was saying there's a social issue there where like women don't even understand the difference between like whether they're going to get in a real relationship or they're just being used for the night, kind of thing. Like they haven't become as discerning towards like, how do you put it? Like yes, that man is willing to pay for your dinner and do all the things that you want for a week, and he's going to expect to get like, laid a bunch of times, and then he's never going to call you again.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't seem to understand that like what's going to make them happy is like a real relationship with somebody. It's like it's like a combination of like perfect storm. Like there's all this other stuff going on too.
But they don't
that's
understand
contributing to it.
I think that women don't understand because they can't understand that, and part of the reason why they can't understand that is because they've been given agency. They've been given the ability to make their own choices, and
agency plus they've got inflated egos. Your narcissism thing isn't wrong there, but that makes sense that they don't understand that like they're being used.
Well, I think
because they're too narcissistic to be able to take that on board and.
Yeah, I think there is definitely a lot of that. But I think when it comes to like making choices and stuff, I think women are just terrible decision makers. You let a woman make her own decisions, she won't make the right decisions. Half the time, like my mom's the same way in this. If you give her the ability to make a decision on like what she's going to eat, well, she's going to eat what she likes, which is part of the reason why a lot of women get fat. They eat whatever the fuck they want. And that's kind of how that works. Now, when you're younger, that's not a big issue because you can still stay thin for longer. But yeah, it can be a problem if you're trying to start a relationship stuff. Part of if you let it gets super misogynistic here, but essentially, like if you look at like arranged marriages,
you're worried about getting misogynistic after that last statement.
I know, right?
Just for.
Women are no good at
why not? Change it up a little.
Yeah. Let me show a modicum of modesty here. But if you look back in the days when we had arranged marriages, which isn't exactly what we called it, but it is kind of what it was. We would, make plans to help couples get together in that way. And if you look at like other countries, like maybe in different parts of the world that do still stuff like that, they tend to run a lot better. They stay together longer. Chance of divorce is way less likely, and they're usually happier. And part of the reason for that is because the people who are making decisions, like women are terrible decision makers, and they'll just hook up with anyone, like the ones that they excite them, not the ones that are going to treat them the best or treat them better. And so if you take someone else to make the agency and make the decision for them, they often look for the things that they're looking for. They find the ones that they want, and it often works out better. Same thing if you were to do like hire people to arrange dates for you or something like that. They tend to have better results. Yeah. They have better results, and you have better long-term happiness because you're letting the decision making happen by someone else. And women, they often do better.
So they tend to be coddled by society in general.
Well, yeah, but like I said, I just don't think women can make the right decisions because they're going to look for what excites them. Same thing with, let's say, like meal planning and stuff. They're going to find what they want.
Yeah. That's a big part of why women end up like cheating on men all the time is because like the guy is not as exciting as he was like way back then or
or he's not
or something. Because he can't constantly up the fucking ante and keep your ridiculous expectations.
They want the fucking infatuation phase, that exciting infatuation phase, to last forever. It's not.
I think like women, they need to be surprised every now and then. This is why guys need to have a little bit of mystery to them. It's like I might go out with the boys. What did you talk about? None of your business. That's kind of stuff. It's like, but guys are a little too open with their partners, and he's like, yeah, you don't need to be as open. And, guys used to flirt with other women, too. Not that they would do anything. It was just like, yeah, I flirt. whatever. But now they're too scared to do that. They're too pussy whipped, if you will. It's like if you know be a little bit of a jerk every now and then. Like I'm not saying go out there and fuck other women. I'm just saying, keep them on their toes.
Yeah.
Dude, I would flirt with my ex's cousins like a lot.
Damn right, as you should.
Yeah. Well, then I
Well, they gotta think they're
harmless.
getting one
I
over
never
on
did
somebody.
anything.
They're very motivated by being the winner of the competition for whoever they're with. Like,
yeah,
and that's kind of a male and female thing. Like we're both kind of like both genders are kind of driven by that. Like you need to feel like they've won the competition to get that person.
And a lot of women are like addicted to drama. They have a lot of drama thing. They always start in fights or and part of the reason why is because they're not getting enough of that at home. It's like, sometimes you just need to create some drama for them so that way they'll shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I mean, I stopped because like she told me like it made her uncomfortable or something, and I'm like, I'm never gonna do anything, right? But I still stopped because again, she said it fucking made her feel like shit.
Good.
All right, I thought it was harmless. I mean, I don't do this when you're not around. Like, I don't interact with your cousins like this and flirt with them when you're not around.
It's like, well, I think for some of that, maybe you just need to openly say like, yeah, look, I'm doing this to keep you on your toes. I ain't gonna fucking do it, but I'm still gonna do it. I'm still gonna flirt.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't necessarily a conscious thing. I guess that's probably what I was doing.
I mean, probably.
I could fuck any one of your cousins. Like, just keep that in mind.
Yeah, don't fuck with me, bitch.
And they're all fucking hot, so.
Yeah. So yeah, when I tell you to make me a sandwich, I guess you're gonna be making a sandwich, now, aren't you?
Yeah, you best get to that sandwich there. That's the least misogynistic way forward here.
I mean, it's just
to be fair, like we're talking real facts. Like this is just the reality. Like people don't want it to be that way, but fucking we're animals. We're dumb fucking monkeys.
Yeah, no, it happens. I mean, it is what it is. Okay, I mean, women ain't gonna change the way that they behave. Men shouldn't be doing that either.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of like ridiculous shit that I see guys do now. That's just like I don't know why you would think that would be good.
Yeah, they want to. They seem to want to have people act against their fucking nature. It's bizarre.
Well, that's the idea. Well, partially because if you don't behave the way that you should, then everyone's unhappy. Like men have to act like men, women have to act like women. And if we start taking on the roles of the opposite gender, well, then we become less attracted to you, and then it'll cause things like if men act more like women, they're not going to be as attractive. And women are going to be more likely to cheat, that kind of stuff. Yeah. So just gotta be fucking misogynistic. That's what you gotta do.
Yep.
Even though you
gotta actually act like a man. That's why.
Even though we've had like a couple decades of just trying to teach us to do otherwise. Yeah, it's not that easy. We always say like, yeah, I mean, don't be mean to women, that kind of shit.
No, be mean all the time.
Negging, dude, it's super effective.
Yeah, it's like, so I play VR chat a lot, and a lot of the people I interact with are ladies, because I'm often in the karaoke rooms and in the groups of people, and then like, women tend to feel more comfortable hanging out in a group of people that aren't like, you know what I mean? Like, rather than hang out just on their own, they tend to want to like hang out with like groups. So it tends to be a lot of ladies. And what do you call it? Yeah, it's amazing how quick if you start just you don't have to be mean, just like gentle teasing. We'll get them all going. Kind of, clearly they're starting to get a little lubed up there.
You'd be surprised. Apparently,
they need every guy to find them attractive or something.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it's very bizarre.
Even when they're hanging out with their boyfriends, it's weird. It's like, I don't...
Yeah, guys shouldn't be tolerating that. But also, it's like women like to be humiliated. Oddly enough, they got this degradation thing. I think it's part of the real like asserting dominance onto them that they seem to like.
It seems to be. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, well, again, like guys aren't being guys, and we're not being like totally misogynistic and all that other kind of stuff. And so when you start to do that kind of thing, they actually appreciate it. Also, I mean, talking down to women isn't really inherently a bad thing. Only enough, they say, "Oh no, you humiliate." No, bitch, you liked it.
Yeah,
It
that's the
depends
thing,
on
dude.
the. You gotta learn how to tell the difference between like when they're enjoying it, when they're not. Like, because if you're doing it wrong, like it can go really wrong. Like,
yeah, fair enough. You need to know when's enough's enough. I mean, some gentle teasing is one thing.
yeah, there's a style to it versus like just being an asshole.
Just being mean.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Clearly, it's not.
Women do not want to actually be treated the way they claim they want to be treated.
No.
Well, the other thing
is
is
the way that they claim they want, they're going to fucking treat you like shit.
Well, the way a lot of these guys treat women is like they're made out of the finest porcelain, and they're the most amazing, perfect people on the face of the planet, and like no one can live up to that. So who wants to fucking be treated like that? Nobody wants to be treated like that. I wouldn't. I doubt either of you guys would.
To quote 40-Year-Old Virgin, they're putting pussy up on a pedestal.
Oh yeah. That's the term. Yeah.
Damn. That was so funny. He was like, "What is the pussy on the pedestal thing? What does that mean?"
Yeah.
I mean, it's treating them like they're perfect. How do they live up to that fucking expectation? Nobody wants that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But if you're like having a good time and treating them like you would treat one of the boys, talking some shit occasionally, having a good time, then they tend to enjoy that because, they're people.
Mm. Yeah, to an extent. I don't think you can be quite.
No, I mean, I'm not saying you treat them exactly the same, obviously.
Yeah. Good-natured ribbing.
I don't want the boys to suck my dick, so I'm like, trust me, there's going to be differences.
Yeah, no, they definitely do not understand the levels that we go to in our shit talking.
Yeah.
Like they're like, that's so mean. They're like, none of us fucking mean what we're saying, and we all fucking know that. We're just talking shit. It's fun. This is actually male bonding.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty fucking silly, but fucking fun, dude.
There was this VTuber I was listening to, and she was talking about how she's like a game designer. She was working for a company and doing that kind of stuff, and so she'd pop into a lobby of a game to see what how things were playing out, and she was just saying how absolutely horrified she was by all the guys and the guy gamers and all that stuff. And she's like, yeah, toxic masculinity is definitely a thing. I hear the kind of stuff they would say. It's awful. I'm like, you realize like men behave a certain way. It's like it's not that they're actually awful. It's just that they're hyper competitive. Not to mention guys are assholes to each other. So it's like it's what they do.
Yeah, they don't really understand it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was listening to her. I'm like, that's just guys. It's normal. It's not that they're awful or toxically masculine. Just they're assholes.
Yeah. What they notice that the guys, while they're saying this shit, are still smiling good-naturedly at each other
and
Like
laughing.
one of them's feeling all down and dejected and fucking hanging their head.
Yeah, no one's depressed and suicidal. I mean, they're just saying awful things to each other.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and
it's like, yeah, bitch, you'd be better off if you could be brutally honest with your friends.
Oh yeah, that is a fucking Morris of daggers and evil. Women in their friend groups. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Some women I've met are like
fucking
have real
enabling
genuine
fucking-
friendships with their friends, but most of them have weird hierarchical fucking what do you call it? What's the guy that wrote The Prince? Machiavellian fucking like relationships, you know?
Yeah, they all hate like at least one of their best friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking secret hatred of one of your alleged best friends.
It's like, are you truly friends if you hate each other so much?
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah, frenemies.
Yeah.
Frenemies
Well, no,
is a thing that only women would come up with. That's not a guy thing.
Yeah. Well, Chris Rock had a pretty good bit about it. He was talking about how, like, you know, if you fucking meet your friend's girlfriend, and you're like, man, she's fucking cool. I gotta find me a girl like that. And then if it's like a woman in that same situation, like reverse, the woman's gonna be like, I've got to get him.
Yeah.
Not a guy like that, but I've got to get him.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, it's fucking.
Yeah, women are women.
Yeah,
they prioritize weird things.
Yeah, subtlety is their baseline, dude. Like subtlety / deception, really.
God damn. Well, we've gone down the cancellation avenue, I think.
I think we've hit them all. I think we got cancellation bingo by.
Vitamin B17.
Oh, it is almost 6. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, time to get going. I gotta get me some food.
Yep, I was thinking the same thing. It's about time to wrap up. It's our normal time to end things on. And
was anybody watching at any point? I'm guessing not. So just bye-bye. That's all.
Yeah, let it
Bye-bye.
be.